We need like an intro music.
I know. I'm not savvy with intros. Hi guys,
I
we are
mean,
live. We are live.
Good
Need
evening.
a
if
yeah.
Toy Anxiety can do it, we should be able to do it.
I need a good intro reel. Someone make me a live stream intro. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we have John from Layer Creations. Say hi, John.
Hello.
And Arthur up in Alaska. Say hi, Art.
What's up, guys? Good evening.
Good evening for us. It's 9 o'clock my time. It's what, Art? You're 4 hours earlier, so right?
Yeah, it's only 5, so it's still
Yeah.
early yet. I would say it's still the sun hasn't set, but it won't set till for a long time anyway. Anyway,
It's been
When was it?
months since we've live streamed, so this will be good to catch up.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a
When
while.
was the last time you live streamed?
I can't even remember. I think
It's
it
the
might have
top
been like
10. The
January,
top 10
maybe.
of
I don't know.
2024. Yeah.
You mean the day that I texted you and I had the bad thing happen?
Yes, when your house blew up. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it? That seemed like that was
Literally.
so long ago, John.
Actually,
Yeah.
John, if you don't mind, give people an update on your house situation, because for those who don't
Um,
know, you were basically tell them what happened and where you're at now.
so on December 28th, literally the day that I was going to be on the stream with David and the rest of you guys talking about our favorite, toys of the year. I had a tornado hit my house at about 12:15 p.m. and the son of a gun destroyed my house, and I'm not even exaggerating. It really did. So 0 out of 10, I will not recommend. Not very fun. But the um, the upswing is that we insurance really came through for us, and we were able to afford a new house, and we're going to be closing on it probably next week. And it's a nice house. I'm very proud of it. Um, lots of space, and I'm really excited to get over there, and I'm going to have a toy room again. My wife is actually going to
Yeah.
let me do what I want to do, which has never happened before. There's always been like limitations. And she told me, she's like, nope, just do what you want as long as it stays in that room. Just do what you want. So I'm like,
Is this like a full bedroom that you get for this? Like
yes,
a
it'll
Oh
it'll
wow.
be my office. And we're
Awesome.
also gonna
Nice.
have a upstairs second living room. So I think
Oh,
there's gonna be opportunity for decoration there too. Because
Some spillover.
that's always
my
nice.
ghost has to go somewhere.
When we moved out of our when we were looking about 6-7 years ago, we were looking for our forever house we wanted, and the house we were in was like a temporary thing. We knew we weren't going to be forever in there. We were like, we want a second living area where the kids can have their TV and their you know a TV, kids hangout room,
Yeah.
TV room, which is always that's always nice, which we have now. And I have
Mm,
my main shelf is right outside this room, is that living room, and this is my main shelf,
hmm.
right in the middle of everything. So it's always fun to have that. And
Yeah.
then the wife has her living room that she decorates all nice, and you know,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. We've been furniture shopping and looking at all sorts of stuff and
Yeah.
just making expensive decisions that, yeah. So that's my big update.
Yeah, and I got to visit your house a couple years ago, so I was shocked when I saw the picture you shared of after the tornado. And your
Yeah.
collection was mostly upstairs, and your whole roof got ripped off of all your.
Entirely upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it was like a
crazy.
Um,
loft type of thing, right?
so yeah. So everything. So I had a lot of inbox on card
Mm.
stuff. And okay, so I have my office at the university I teach at also. And a couple of years ago, back when my son started getting big enough to like run around, I figured figured it'd be a good idea to go ahead and take my on-card collection and move that up to the university. So that's all hanging on walls up there. Like that stuff I'm never gonna
Well, that was
take off
safe.
card. That was safe. Yeah, that
Yeah.
turned out to be a really smart move. But some of the stuff like that I had still in box or had the boxes for, like say the Thrawn SDCC set,
Yeah.
the nice one that had like the trifold open thing with all the extra bits.
Yep.
Yeah, that was soaked. That was
Oh,
ruined.
man.
The plastic is fine, but that
Well, half of that set,
amazing box.
that's the Thrawn, his office with the
Yeah.
half of that
All his
set
artifacts.
is the box. If you
I
take
know.
if you take Thrawn and all his little bits out, it's like
Yeah.
okay, it's the regular Thrawn with the little
Yeah.
odds and ends. Half of, so that's
And the
unfortunate.
Thrawn figure is not even like
No.
that impressive. It's just
No,
but the box is just so
he's-
cool.
Is there any difference between that and the archive and the standard Thrawn?
Not the
No, I don't think
figure.
so.
No.
No, the
Yeah.
figure's fine. Like the
Yeah.
little plastic bits are fine, and like probably one day I might make like a diorama that folds out
That would be fun.
that
would be cool.
approximates the box. But like that box was really cool.
I
think it was
have-
like the first SDCC thing that I actually managed to get.
I have a
when people were, like,
suggestion.
rushing. What?
Let me find it for Thrawn. It's a pretty cool picture. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Let me
Well,
find
once
it.
while you're doing that art, so tonight we're going to talk about recent pickups just to give people an idea where we're going. So we're going to share some of our recent pickups, which is going to be, I'm sure some Star Wars, but some other stuff too. I got some Marvel Legends. I got some, a couple things, and I know John has some things.
Mhm.
John is going to talk
Yeah.
about some of the 3D designs you've been working on, right? You got some new projects that you've been involved with and working on. So we're going to show some of those. And I thought if we have time, I kind of wanted to look at some of the recent Hasbro announcements that
Sure.
they've put out in their recent streams and just kind of talk about the
There hasn't
the
been much
pipeline.
of anything interesting lately.
Well, let's
Nothing.
talk
Bunch of
about
boring, bunch of boring
Yeah.
slop, right?
bunch of boring
Just a
slop.
couple of
Yeah.
figure stands.
If it's
So-
not OT, it's not interesting.
I think I actually kind of want to go to that first because I had the Hasbro Pulse page
Yeah.
open. Are you guys good with that?
Okay.
Talking about some of the
Yeah,
recent
let's
Yeah. So
announcements.
this is what I was talking about, John. This hanging
that chair.
chair. If you could figure, that would be just really cool. If you, could- I
That
don't know
would be
how
kind
you,
of cool.
I don't know how you would get it to hang, but
I would
been-
just print out like a 6-foot pole and just like super
get
glue
back
it
to
to my
you.
ceiling.
Let me get back.
What?
Right? Yeah. Now I lost the page.
Yeah.
But I've been reading this, and
What comic is that? Show us the cover. What are you reading there?
this is the Heir to the Empire. Oh, it was closer to the beginning than I thought. But this is yeah. I showed it already, but you made me big as soon as I took it away. This is the Heir to the Empire.
Oh, okay.
So this is the Legends, and then now that I'm big, so you can see it, but it's just
Mhm.
the art style. So it just is really cool. It's just in the it obviously came out in the 90s. You know, it came out a little while after the comic, a little while after the book came out, and
Yeah.
I've been hunting down. I hunted down all of Heir to the Empire because there are 6 of them, the individual
Mhm.
ones, and then I didn't get all. So I've been looking for all of them, and then I walked into the my local comic book shop, and that was on. I was like, awesome! Now I don't need to
It's cool.
go chapter by chapter and look for 30-year-old comic books. I can just because I just wanted to get the actual story in comic book form. I was just curious, and it's interesting the art style changes throughout. You know.
How
The
many,
Heir
how
to the
many issues?
Heir to the Empire. Each one is about 6. Let me see if the front. I was thinking the front had.
So do they have like a different artist for each one of the books?
Yeah. See, this is
interesting.
Heir to the Empire. If you see it, the
Mhm.
artistry, and then if you
Mhm.
go to, we'll skip to the middle where I'm at, and you can see it really has changed. They changed artists, I feel, throughout.
Mhm.
And then if you skip all the way to Dark Force Rising, you can see Joris Sebayoth is
Okay.
significantly different artist style. So they definitely had different artists for each one. And made me big, so let me show you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little
So
slow.
no, it's fine. And if you could see to this compared to, let's go back to the initial Heir to the Empire. It's pretty different as far as the artist style. So I'm not big into comic books, but
Yeah, that almost has like a Hellboy. Who's the guy that Frank? You know, I'm talking about. It kind of has like that chunky, kind of like angular
yeah.
look to Thrawn's face versus
Oh,
like
I
the
see
one
what
you
you're
just
saying.
showed.
Yeah.
Mike Magnolia, is that his name? I can't remember it. I'm not
Yes,
saying
I'm
it
not a
right.
good comic guy. I'm not a very knowledgeable on the comics, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So yes, I'm not a big one. I only really go to the comic book store because they have Dark Horse has a Bad Batch series going, and my
Ooh,
daughter
that's cool.
forces me to go and every once a month, and because I have to get the alt comic book too. Hey Gary,
Hey,
made
Gary.
it.
There he is.
Tell your wife I'm sorry.
Oh, I got no audio from you, Gary.
No audio,
check your
buddy.
mic. Check your mic settings.
Unmute.
No,
So that's
you
been
didn't.
fun. I read the story of the Thrawn trilogy 30 years ago, and so it's been interesting. I know some of it, but there's a lot of story notes, and there's stuff I know they skipped through, as far as story wise, and so, but it's interesting. So
I'm really enjoying seeing the bits and pieces of the Thrawn trilogy get worked into the live action and into the cartoons, especially like when they brought in the Nogri for what was it? It was a Bad Batch. It was Rebels. Yeah,
Rebels.
And they brought they brought
his
in Chris,
his little
Chris?
assistant.
Yeah. The little assassin guy.
The assassin.
Mm.
Yeah, he's.
Well, in the
It is
book,
interesting.
he was an assassin. Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting to see what I visually pictured reading it when I was in middle school there, versus what the artist rendition. And I'm not sure if that's what Timothy Zahn designed when he wrote it, but especially
not
like
what I expected either.
The Nogri, I'm like,
oh, like
that's not what I pictured in my mind,
I expected like
and
a
then
little orc,
and then with
goblin.
The 4-pack, about a year ago that they came out with the Black Series, and then the 3-pack that everybody's been talking about Joris Sebayoth, and I'm like, I pronounced it a lot differently. I thought it was Saboth.
I always said Kaboth.
I always said Saboth.
Kaboth or something.
I guess in my mind I pronounced it Joris Saboth. So,
well, guys, let's say hi to a few folks here too. We got Brian. Gen X Brian was tuning in just a little bit ago.
Hi, Brian.
Brian is going to come to the toy show here in Massachusetts. I'm going to meet him in person for the first time.
Awesome.
So he's over in New York. He's about, I don't know, a 3-hour drive or something. So
yeah, that's not far.
We have a local toy show coming up in July where a bunch of people are going to be there. So it'll be a cool event for a day. So looking forward to meeting Brian. John, hey John, one of my local buddies. Same with Mike. Friend Mike. This is funny. Mike just started a YouTube channel where he watches the airplanes land at Logan Airport. That's the whole channel. You can look up Boston in Flight is his channel, guys. If you're into into airfare and whatever airlines.
There's a road that goes right. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, there's a road in Houston, 1960, that goes right past Bush Intercontinental, and whenever I will take 1960 just to see the airplanes coming in to land.
Yeah.
Gary,
same here.
Can you hear us?
You can get right there on that, and they come right over you. It's impressive.
There's a Target that I'll stop at, and they fly right over the parking lot. They're so close.
I'm not hearing Gary's audio.
I'm still
I can see ya.
no audio.
Gary,
Why is that? That is strange. Edit mic
Down at the
settings.
bottom. Maybe you're muted. Maybe press Control D.
yeah, Gary, if you hit settings, go to audio, and make sure your mic is maybe like a default.
Logan in flight. There you go.
That's Mike's channel. Logan in flight. Logan Airport. Well, Gary, I don't know what's going on, man.
Just get a marker board and just
Get an Etch-a-Sketch.
every time you want to
can-
chime in.
Just text it to one of us. We'll read it off.
You can try it with your phone. Yeah. There's a button on your mic. Huh. I don't know.
What now?
Well, Gary's trying to figure that out. I'm going to hop over to Hasbro Pulse website.
There.
I think I could.
Oh, there
There
you
he
are.
is. There he is.
There he is.
All right. Sorry, there's I have to change these settings a lot for work and other things, and
Oh yeah,
I'm not bright enough to remember what I'm doing. So
yeah.
I know the feeling. I'm the same way. I can't remember.
I was
shut
on
up.
an hour ago getting all my settings all in order.
Can you guys see the Pulse site here?
Yes,
We
sir.
can.
Yeah,
I can.
All right. This is that. I figured this is just the easiest way to go through it. But I just was curious what you guys. I always like to hear what you guys, what made you, push the buy button, the pre-order button, and what did you pass on?
Okay.
But I'm just curious. So we got reissues of Ahsoka and Sergeant Creel. These are Black Series.
I wish they would
Yeah,
reissue
interesting.
her. I would reissue Ahsoka with the standard box with the window. That way,
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
anybody that, because I actually got her a second one. Like, oh, I'll get one, and if I get it signed sometime, and then I got it, and I'm like, oh, that's right, it's plastic free. So probably end up just selling it.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't reissued the figures that came out without the plastic, that they haven't put them in regular Galaxy packaging and resold them to us. They've done it.
Give them
Did they do
time.
that with
They'll do
a few
it.
of them? Yeah, they'll get there. I know.
Someone at Hasbro is watching this, going, "Write that down. Write that down."
What'd you think of the What'd you think of the TIE Fighter?
Oh,
Did any of you guys? Any of you guys order this?
No.
Nope.
I'm close. I'm that close.
You're a huge TIE Fighter fan,
Yeah,
Gary.
I love
would
that.
imagine.
Well, I wonder if they saw that there was a lot of success. There's a company that did a studio scale tie. I think that thing cost like $800. Now it was cool, but I bet they saw how popular that thing was and decided to do this, because I think that's actually really 1/18 scale, because the old ones are not even close.
Yeah,
I think they saw the print that you did last year, and I think they were like, "Well, shit, we could probably,
Well,
Yeah.
we need to do this."
that thing looks good. I looked at it pretty close, and it's pretty accurate.
That little
Now-
removable panel is cool too.
yeah, with the battle damage. So the price is $139.99 US.
Yeah, I got to be honest.
Did that
Like, it's
shock you?
cool.
Yeah.
It's higher than I was hoping for. I think it's a cool ship. It looks really nice. I like the panel that flips out or that switches out. But for 140, I think they need to like have a stand or something you can put it on, that's going to make it a little bit more dynamic to display. Because you can just sit him down, he'll be fine. You can set it down, but it's not what you really want, because eventually they're going. Well, they do have Luke's type X-wing.
Yeah, they do.
Right. So
They came out with that a
why
couple
not
of years
have-
ago.
Yeah, I think they have a reissue going on. I think.
Is it
Yeah.
is it a real 1/18 scale?
No, it's a little smaller, but it's bigger than. Yeah, I
It's a
have
TV,
it.
It's TVC.
It's proportioned well, but it's still small.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it. How else are you going to get a almost true 1/18 scale tie advanced? Where are you going to get that?
I have an idea.
Is $130, $140? Is that really that bad?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Probably not for people who are building a collection. No, probably not.
Because if it's never
And-
available, but it is going to
Yeah.
be. So we have that option.
Yeah,
What-
I mean,
what
we're
are
never
some-
going to see this in store. That's we're never going to see this in a store
Yeah.
anyways, except for maybe GameStop.
I'm trying to think of recent TVC vehicles that did make to the store. Like they had the X-wing for Anton Merrick from Rogue One. Remember that? That made it to some targets.
Did it?
Yeah, we had a whole
It
stack
did.
of them.
Okay, I
Um,
don't.
I thought
don't
about
recall that.
I sat for a couple minutes thinking about it in Target. And,
Yeah. What else came out recently with TVC vehicle? No, the N1 Starfighter, the Mando.
Mhm.
I think that one was in Target too.
I saw that at a GameStop actually pretty recently.
it's a great one.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Hmm That's the one
that
I
has-
almost pulled a trigger on.
And John, like you said, that has a stand. That has a real nice stand with
Yep.
it that you can
Mhm.
angle
Yep.
around. And I agree, it would be that would be really cool if this thing came with a articulated stand.
Hmm
And
Well, that's part of the fun about it right there. You could put it in some cool poses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess the figure's the same
Now, would you
figure,
have-
just
would you
different
have-
card back.
Rather had a figure or the stand? I feel like it's
I
one or
want
the other,
both.
to be honest.
Yeah, I'd want the figure with it. I'd want
Both.
the figure.
I've
Both.
got like 3 or 4 Vaders like floating around
Yeah.
in my tub right now. I think I don't necessarily need the Vader, but if you don't have a Vader, people are going to complain about that. And it would make sense to
Yeah.
keep the Vader because they've already tooled that. So they might as well keep it in
And it's
there.
an easy reissue. Yeah. Just change the
100%.
card and yeah.
Now, one thing I think they probably should have done, and I don't want to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. I don't like being the guy. But the card, I can't believe this. I'm going to say this. God dang it. The card, the picture they put for the card, I really feel like should have been Vader in the TIE Fighter.
Oh, could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not do that? Granted, there's no difference between that Vader and a New Hope Vader.
You need to be our
But-
mint on card guy. Nick's not here, so
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Now I think
Yeah.
Nick
Alright,
is
let's-
getting
let's
this.
stick with-
I think he is getting that TIE Fighter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Okay, let's look at some of these other figures that they announced. So they have the Ronin figure. That's the
Ronan.
general release. So that's not the black. That's not the
do-
grayscale version.
I want to throw out there the Creel. If you don't have it yet, he's a really cool figure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
Oh yeah,
He's a really good figure.
he's fun.
Yeah, I have this one as well. Stormtrooper with a lightsaber. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Plus, he's got all his extra gadgets and stuff on
Oh
him.
yeah, he's got all his gizmos
Mhm.
We'll focus on Black Series here for a little bit. So the Ronin, I have no interest in this because I don't know.
Mhm.
It's just not. I've watched Visions. I'm not going to buy the Ronin. I don't know. Didn't do it for me.
I'm glad they have this for the people that want it but couldn't really afford that big, expensive,
Yeah, the
celebration.
deluxe.
I mean,
I'm
he's,
sure there's a
he's
couple people
cool.
out there that
Yeah. I think I
No.
pre-ordered him on BBTS, but then I think I ended up releasing the pre-order. But he
Hmm.
does look cool. I think he's a little too design-wise. He's a little too samurai-ish, which is the point. That's the whole point.
the
of him.
samurai. Yeah.
Have you seen the
that's
show?
point. I know. I mean, yes, but I'm just saying. Like, I think for me, I ended up just releasing it and go, nah.
Well, I watch the Star Wars Vision cartoons and I enjoy them, but it's not something that I go back to watch again. I don't know.
haven't-
It's just kind of a
But
novelty thing.
if I gotta say, if I did go back to watch it, and only had time for one episode, it would be this one. This episode was my favorite out of at least the first season. I don't think I even saw the second season.
Actually, I don't think I did either. Anyway, let's move on. So we got that one's coming in the main line. Then here's some good ones. I like Barisofi here
Mhm.
and
Yes.
the Jedi Temple Guard. It's always
Mhm.
interesting to look which ones are sold out. Look, she's sold out and the Temple Guard's sold
Mhm.
out.
Well,
Well,
the
her,
Temple Guard, I'm not surprised because you almost got to get two if you can't just get
Mhm.
one. So.
That Temple Guard looks really cool.
And I actually ordered 2 of these from Pulse. This is what
There
I
you go.
bought after that live stream. Because Rebels. These guys were in Rebels, and
Gary, you getting these?
Probably not. I'm torn. It's a good looking figure though.
I have a thought.
And I haven't
Go ahead.
finished Rebels. I think I still got maybe one more season, or I might have just got into the last season, so I can't remember. I don't remember that guy.
So if you swap out the head for like just a regular Jedi head, you could almost have a High Republic Jedi.
It is very
Yeah.
High Republic. Yeah. This would be a hard. I'm a pass, but if I see it in store, it'll be a especially if I'm at GameStop and I get my $5 off.
It's a double bladed lightsaber. I mean,
yeah.
that's too damn cool.
Can't remember the Rebels episode. What happened? These guys guard the temple. That's what they do, Gary. So I think it's either Ezra goes to the temple. I can't remember now.
Yeah, but
they just had a good presence in the show. They were cool.
Yeah, I remember one of those episodes when he was there, but I just don't remember. I'll have to go back and look at it.
Yeah.
So the Grand Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor is a former temple guard.
Right.
And so I think they're like when he's doing that temple on Lothal, where he's having like that vision quest type deal. I think they this is where you see some of them, and then like one of them turns into the Grand Inquisitor.
And one of them advances Kanan to Jedi Master, right? I think something like that. But yeah, I would love a flashback in something in a show, seeing these guys what they're doing, taking out some 501st troopers or something. Last man,
Yeah, Brian says Kanan passed
Kanan
those.
passed,
It was
yeah.
They were
It's been a
testing
while.
Kanan's ability.
Yeah.
That was the main.
That's the main episode I remember them in. Is that arc?
Yeah.
So,
Bearsafi, another Jedi we need in the line. It's great that they're doing these Jedi characters now.
100%. If you get her master, you got to get her. I love them both.
Yeah. So I didn't pre-order her, but I will pick her up when I probably grab her at GameStop or something.
Plus, you could pop her head off and put it on a Inquisitor body, and so you get her in the Tales of the Dark Side.
There seems like there's a lot of available to customize her for other characters. What's the from the Teen Titans that
Oh jeez, the Raven character, or whatever. Yeah,
I didn't even watch the show, but yeah, I remember it just popped in my head that looks like her. Other characters you could do a custom of.
All right, what I don't remember. Okay, so a 2-pack of the Death Trooper and the Shore Trooper. Was that part of the live stream? I don't even remember that.
Yes.
Another army builder pack.
I want that one because he's got the pauldron.
Yeah. Because
is this the?
The pauldron guy only came in that 3-pack.
I don't need another Shore Trooper though.
Yeah, well, those were both archived, So I got a ton of those guys. But
not the pauldron. The pauldron wasn't archived. Yeah, but not enough to get it though. To be honest, not enough. I already got 2.
I found that 3-pack actually at a Ross for like $15. I got it just for the Death Trooper because that was like the cool.
I would be all over that if they did the Shore Trooper that has the blue on them.
Yes,
the sergeant or the captain.
For some reason, that's the only one I don't have, and for some reason, I'm just dying for it. I don't know why. It's the blue. You put blue on anything, and I'm like, ooh, blue.
If you get the Mayfax Shore Trooper, I think they actually have a variant that you can swap out the pauldron, and it turns it into the captain or whatever it is, the sergeant.
I've never gotten in for
it.
Don't
start.
I know.
All right, here's a cool figure, Sand Trooper. Any of you guys buying this?
If I see one out, I probably will.
I'm gonna wait to see some reviews and how that compares because it would be cool to have, a couple going because I have my Sand Trooper going through my little cantina setup, and it'd be cool to have a couple of them going through.
Now,
That was
didn't
always my
the Jetta
favorite
have the
Trooper
orange pauldron?
variant. Say what?
Did the Jetta Trooper have the orange pauldron? Because
Mhm.
I think I got
Yes.
a black,
Yes, it's
gray.
a little bit different of a color orange, but yeah, because I have them kind of standing next to each other, and I was just kind of messing around. I was changing up my cantina a little bit this afternoon.
Yeah. Aside from the backpack, they function well as Sand Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing with this
Is that
figure
a-
is
It's a
the
different
blaster.
gun.
This is a new rifle. That we
Yeah, that's what I was
don't,
about to
don't
they
say.
have
have-
in the line.
It's got a double
They
drum.
changed up. Well, they don't. They changed. They have the regular one.
Mhm.
And they swapped it out with whatever the other whatever what was that big bassoon thing that they gave us.
Yeah, the big bazooka looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a first in the Black Series to have this weapon,
Yeah.
which is, I think that alone is a reason to
That's cool.
grab this
We
figure.
need, we need Matt to tell us what type of gun that is.
So you're saying that is a $24.99 gun
Weapon.
that's going to come? Yeah, weapon that's going to come with a bonus free figure gift.
Yep, pretty much. And the orange pauldron sand trooper, I think that was in the original orange line when the first wave of
was.
figures.
It's
It
an
was.
older
Second
figure,
wave. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
It was number 3.
Right. Yeah. It was,
It was the
yeah.
third
So one of the
one.
very first. So it's nice for them to reissue this. I'm happy
Mhm.
with this one. I'm glad they did this
Yeah.
one.
I got one with the dewback, and
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
thing is loose as heck. He's
Oh, really?
yeah, he's very wobbly.
All right, who's this guy? Clone Lieutenant Gale.
Gale. I have no idea who this is. I
think he's
Same.
one of the randos on Felucia.
Okay.
I think because there's a
So-
couple next to Gree. Was it Gree? I don't know. I'm not a big clone head.
Is he just a Captain Rex repaint? Because that's the pauldron and everything. It just looks like Captain Rex to me. You know?
Or maybe they're all Captain Rex repaints.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the clone guys will love this one, I'm sure. So another clone.
Is the is that soft goods or of the
That's
his
The comma.
skirt? The
it
comma.
looks like cloth.
It looks like
cloth?
soft goods on this one. Let me
Yeah.
see if there's a better picture.
That's another thing. The cloth always, it never looks that perfect. It's always creased and never sits right.
Yeah.
But then the hard plastic, the mobility, the articulation is so
Yeah.
limited. So it's kind of.
It might be that rubbery. I don't know. It doesn't look like it looks kind of rigid right there in that picture.
That'll be interesting if they do kind of more of a soft. It's kind of a minor nitpick and nothing to make.
Yeah.
I have enough clones.
I think they've been doing a lot more soft good stuff, so
Yeah.
I like the flexibility.
If a clone is a repaint.
Great question, Mike. How can you tell? They're all repaints, aren't they?
They're all
Every
repaints.
single one.
Copies
They're
to copies.
genetic repaints. Yeah. What else we got here? So we got lightsaber. I'll skip that. We're not talking
Yeah,
role
it's
play. Do you have the Death Trooper helmet? That looks cool.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-pack
Hey,
of the
that's
samurai
still
guy
in
with the
stock.
And
droid.
it's still in
70
stock.
bucks.
Yeah.
So
I've heard good
I keep
things.
hear- yeah, none of you have it, right? Do any of you have this one?
No.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
not.
order it
I'm not
either.
paying $70 for that.
Oh.
Not just for it's got that wired cape or whatever it is, the robe. Which is
Looks
pretty
really
It looks
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm not big into doing big poses. I'm not very good at it, so that wouldn't. I usually just pretty vanilla, stick it on the shelf.
That's a funny picture. R2 with the staff.
Yeah, his little hat.
Well,
I wonder if you can pull that off of the head.
Surely.
I don't
know.
I feel
I mean,
like
it's got to be
not-
somewhat removable.
I want to say somebody was there chatting about it. I can't remember, and it does not come off.
No, not with that attitude. I can figure it out.
Little hot
it's
water.
A fancy.
Anyway, this
Just-
is a cool set if you're into the
Yeah.
exclusive sets and stuff, but again, not something for me.
It looks cool. All right.
But here we go. How about this
Marin.
one? Marin.
Yeah.
Now, I've played the Jedi Fallen Order games. Have you guys played those
Yeah.
games?
Mhm.
PlayStation.
I didn't finish.
No.
I don't think I finished either one of them, but
My daughter
I
plays
played
it.
quite a bit of them.
So
I
this
got
is
through the first one and halfway through the second one.
Yeah.
this is her look from the second game, where she's kind of
Yeah.
the assistant. I don't know video game terminology. What do you call the character that the computer gives you to help you out on your quests?
The
Kind of like your
NPC.
sidekick. Yeah, your NPC, but it's kind of like your sidekick. She helps him out through a bunch of the challenges and weapon levels.
Yeah. She's a cool character.
Yeah.
I really enjoy
Yeah.
her. They got a lot of really good tension built up between the two characters in the cutscenes. It's just she's very capable. I like her a lot.
And for those who don't know the character, she's the Night Sister, so she has that green
Mhm.
magic that
Yeah.
from
She's
Dathomir.
And
That's
that's why she's got gray
Dathomir
hair and white.
Witch.
Yeah. I do like that green magic force. That's kind of what
Yeah.
the one girl needed. The other one.
So she's
Oh,
got
Good or
two
evil?
force effects.
She looks good, like she'd be a good guy.
She's both.
Well, she's
She is a good guy,
is.
but she's
Yeah.
she's a good guy. She's on the good guy's side, but she's also kind of a dangerous character.
Right.
She's powerful.
'Cause in the first game, she very much wanted to kill Cal, and because Jedi, but eventually they figure things out.
Anyway, I'm putting this one on my buy list. I
Yeah.
will be getting this figure. I like the
They
character.
also
And
have this for TVC as well.
that's right.
Yeah. They need to do more
what's-
effects. I want more effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Force hands. I want force hands. All right.
Yeah.
Here's some big guys here. We got Han and Chewie, and you got Dash Rendar. I
These
did
are
pre-order
probably-
Han and Chewie.
I'd
These
love
are
to be able
probably
to
the
order
only
Dash Rendar.
3 a definite yes for this year so far. I mean,
Yeah.
these 3. Well, I should say Chewie's a maybe because I have half a dozen Chewies.
Here to get Chewy.
I saw Lance Peter Luke's review,
Yeah,
and
it was
it did
good.
have some better articulation than the old sculpts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's worth a pickup, at least to get one of them.
My Chewie just stands there anyway.
Yeah, but your Chewie could stand there like this.
Yeah. I was just messing him. I was trying to get him and Han to sit in my booth in my cantina, and Chewie was not happening. So maybe this one will. Who knows? Probably not still.
He's got butters.
Like I said, this one's a maybe.
Yeah,
but
it does got butters.
I
I like that face on him. That's a very, very Chewy
Yeah.
face.
Yeah,
It
I
is a little bit
think it
of a
looks.
different-
Let me zoom in here. Yeah, it looks good.
It does.
I do like
And
how
the
he can
rubber's
hold his
supposed to be-
bowcaster.
Yeah, you get the butterfly joint there. You got better,
Yeah.
positioning there. And the rubber's supposed to be more flexible too, all the hairy parts and all that. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
it's out of the way easier.
Whenever I get around to reprinting my Millennium Falcon cockpit, him and Han are going straight in there.
Nice. So you guys gonna get? I think I did pre-order Han and Chewie. Let's take a look at Han real quick.
Yeah. So
He
this
looks
yeah,
good. That face looks really
looks
nice.
good. Yeah.
Lance Peter Luke said that he thought that this was like the epitome of a Han figure, but his face, I don't know if there's something about him that just doesn't look as good as maybe like one of the Bandais.
Yeah.
Mhm. He's better than the one I have. The one.
Yeah, yeah. He does look
He's
like he
going-
moves.
Terrible. This is a terrible one that I have.
But does this one have an extra belt and gloved hands? I don't think it does. So
I know the
garbage.
belt. The belt's not
Yeah.
attached like the old one was,
Right. You
I
can
think you
slide
can
up
put
and down.
the-
but the
You can
glove-
put the
yeah.
Stormtrooper belt on him if you have an extra one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it
I
fits
wonder
on
if
him.
these are like the ball socket hands.
It's got that. So the
I
old
think
hands.
so. It looks like it.
Well, they might work.
I think it looks pretty good. I'm
It does look good.
yeah.
Yeah, another good. I mean, now they did Luke and Leia earlier this year, right? And
Mhm.
now we got Han.
Well,
Chewie.
Now,
they got to get all the main cast on the mural for the side
Yeah.
of the box.
Yeah.
So they
now
kinda
give
have
me
to do it
C3PO. I want a new C3PO.
A shiny C3PO.
Yeah,
Yes.
do that vacuum metal.
All right,
Dash.
who's in for Dash Rendar here?
Dash Rendar.
If I can
That looks
ever
great.
actually order him and find a pre-order open, I'll definitely get him.
It's hard. His likeness is hard because in the game it's like
Yeah.
2 bits.
He looks like
It's
Jamie
so cool.
Lannister.
Yeah, he is a very Jamie Lannister, but they did a good job. I think he's maybe too much of a square jaw, but like
He
I
looks
said,
like like a action hero. I don't know. Like he just got that
1980s
look.
action hero.
Yeah, like
yeah, he looks like he belongs in like a 90s sci-fi movie, like or 80s.
He has
Star-
saw the second Shrek movie, right?
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Prince,
Remember
right?
Prince Charming?
Yeah.
Prince
Prince
Charming.
Charming.
Yeah.
He got
That's
the Prince
charming.
Charming hair.
Yeah.
Well, he looks like when he's Prince Charming is down on his luck. I think when he's in the he's a little more disheveled and
All right, so these are a little older ones that were announced before, but there's another Ezra from the Ahsoka show. There's another zombie night trooper,
mhm.
and then there's
I'm definitely
SM-33
getting that
from
one.
Skeleton Crew.
I'm being told my SM-33 is like shipping really soon.
Mine showed up in my house today. Where's my camera? There it is.
Ooh.
Mm.
So mine's
That's right.
coming
Yeah.
really soon.
Earlier.
Then was that your Amazon one? Do you?
Yeah,
send
I
us
got the
link
Amazon
then?
pre-order, so it showed
Yeah.
up
Discounted
yesterday.
one.
So mine should be right behind yours then.
I'll give you guys a better look at it later. I like it. It's pretty good. Did you guys watch Skeleton Crew, the show?
Mhm.
I watched it.
It's
I enjoyed
cute.
the show.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it. It was good.
Gary, you got to watch it. It's good.
It's a little
It's a lot of
pirate
fun.
adventure.
Yeah.
This droid, Gary, is one of the pirate. He's a pirate. He's the first mate of the ship, I think. But you don't find that out until as the plot develops. Spoiler warning, sorry.
Spoiler.
But he's a great character.
You ruined the
and,
show for him now.
Yeah. And for everybody else watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think these ones are in store now. So
Yeah,
I've
those
seen
are all
these on the
kinda
shelves.
older.
That
Anakin,
Praetorian Guard is really cool. I
cool
like him
look.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his arms can actually bend, unlike previous Praetorian Guards.
The other ones, yeah. Let me go back to TVC. What did they announce for TVC? The vintage collection. Why is this website hard to find? Here we go. All right, so this is vintage collection. So we had the TIE Fighter. We talked about that. So
Mhm.
what did you guys buy any of these other packs, like these trooper packs? Did this interest you guys?
No, I don't do troopers in TVC.
I am waiting for the day when they finally fix the hips on the Stormtrooper.
Mm.
I don't
So-
like the hips they have.
I ordered one of these 3-packs just because I love the Scout Trooper and I like the Sand Trooper and the Snow Trooper. Like the 3 of these are probably my favorite troopers. I mean, those are classic, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm not a big TVC collector, but I also like the way this looked, the packaging. So I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna keep this one boxed. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're
So-
individually carded the way they are put in
No,
there,
they're not. Yeah.
which is fine. But
Anyway, I found this one interesting, so I did order this one.
It's got 1.5 stars though, like out of like 75 reviews.
I think that's because they sold out right away and they pissed everybody off because they didn't have enough
Mhm.
available.
yeah, probably.
Now
So
it's-
75 people rated it poorly.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you were buying
Makes
it.
sense.
That was the May 4th reveal. Yeah, because it was the May
Oh
4th
my
stream, and these
God.
were for sale the next day, and then they sold out within like 2 minutes or something.
Ah,
And that made a lot of TVC collectors upset, in my understanding. Same thing with this Cantina 4-pack that and sold out. I guess it's still available. Low stock, it says.
okay.
This is a weird set. I just think it's odd. It's an odd mixture of vintage Kenner and TVC.
Yeah, that's for
You
that.
know,
Does it come with a cardboard fold out?
yeah, it's a cardboard fold out of the Cantina, which is a, a,
Yeah,
Okay.
a replica of what Kenner put out. Kenner did this
Mhm.
exact play set, but they've put TVC figures in the Kenner colors.
Actually, to be honest,
So
that's not too bad. Is that Moma Nadon? Is that the
that's
newer one?
the newer
I guess
one
it
with a
is.
different,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this got a lot of attention from the TVC collectors, from what I could see online. A lot of people thought this was a cool idea.
I wouldn't
I
mind
didn't.
that MoMA, that hammerhead, just as being like a different hammerhead. You know?
Yeah, I think
hmm
people. The other thing in here is the blue snaggletooth is cool. You know,
Mm-hmm.
nod to the original Kenner blue snag as
Mm-hmm.
well.
That's
Um,
pretty cool. I like that.
I did not buy this, but I would have if it was retro collection. If this was a blue snaggletooth, the retro collection, and
yeah.
then I would have done it. But I don't know. It was just a little weird for me being TVC.
Did you get the HasLab Cantina?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Did you get it, Art?
No,
Yeah.
it was tempting, but I just don't have. I already have. I have a mini cantina.
Yeah.
Here. Next to Jabba's
So Art,
Palace. I have the Navarro, which I'm good with that.
Art,
Or
what
if
did
you ever want to
you?
print out a full size one, I know it where you can get the file.
I gotta curate what I have. I don't I plan on doing more shelves here and stuff and give me more room to come, but I'm trying to curate what
Art,
I
which
have first.
which
That
ones of
sounds
these
very
did you?
responsible.
Which ones did you pre-order? I'm curious because you're probably the biggest TVC collector of the four of us.
I don't pre-order anything.
You don't. Okay.
I don't pre-order anything, especially TVC. I just get if I see it in store. Um, pre-order it with, especially because I have, you know, for those who don't know, I have another room where I have a card wall, and so I'm not a stickler with it, like with cards, but I do like them to look nice, if they're going to be on the
Mm-hmm.
wall. And if I pre-order, then they ship it, and I've done that. I bought, they were actually the retro collection. I got a couple of the Mandalorian retro collection carded, and they came bent and they came in a bubble mail, and so that's my biggest thing. And
That's your reason is you don't know what condition they're going to arrive in.
yeah, if it's going to be carded, I like to just get it in store. Then I could, like I said, I'm not a stickler, but I do like it to look a little nice. If it's got a couple creases, it's fine. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're
I
spending
got
almost
some pretty mangled.
$20. You might
Yeah,
as well,
and
right? I mean,
shipping. If I pre-order,
yeah.
they're going to ship it, and if I pre-order it from Big Bad Toy Store or something like that, the shipping is just too much up here. If it's
Did
in
they not do the
stock, and I
$4
could,
shipping for Big Bad?
no,
Ooh.
I forget how much, but I rarely
It's
ever buy
Alaska.
anything. Yeah,
Alaska money.
I
They're
have
still
to pretty much.
Americans.
Yeah, there was. What was it? I tried. Oh, it's stuff Macari. I gotta watch, and stuff like that. I gotta be careful. I'll go. Oh, I go to buy it, and then they don't ship up here, and you gotta
Mm.
ask the seller to change it to a different shipping. And I'm like, I did it one time, and he did it, but I'm like, that's too much of a hassle.
So with these figures being like $16.99 or so, is that the prices that you see like when you go to like your
And that's the
area?
thing. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna go online and get it from a Big Bad Toy Store when I go down. I hate to do it. Go down to Walmart or I like to go to GameStop because I feel like I'm at least helping GameStop out, and I'm not paying shipping,
Yeah.
And for Black Series that I 90 over 90% open, I just get it from Amazon if I like it, and it ships and
That
I
makes
don't have to
sense.
worry about it. Or if it's like I said, I do just still like to stop by the stores. I do like to go into the stores still and see what's available. A little less so now. Lately I've been been a little picky
Still
with what
fun.
I'm picking up lately. But yeah, it's still fun to see what's there.
Are we
I'm
going to
just
talk
bumping
about
over
Marvel Legends?
real quick. Which ones
Okay.
of these grabbed your attention? These gaming sets. These are pretty cool.
That Wolverine
This
looks
is-
good.
This is the first time seeing, but that Juggernaut just catches my eye.
Uh-huh.
And the Wolverine. I love Wolverine.
I actually really like that Venom too, but I know that's a really old Venom.
So
Blue.
some of these are
Is he-
single
Is he
deluxe
blue?
figures.
Is
Some are for
Venom
2
blue in
packs.
some comics?
In the
It's in the
game,
video
he's
game.
blue. Yeah, this is the
Okay.
Marvel versus Capcom
So-
series.
Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
announced
That makes
these a couple
sense
weeks ago,
with the background.
and it's
That's cool. That Captain America is
very cool. Yeah.
Gary, what do you think? Are you in any of these?
Yeah, they're cool, but I've got 4 different lines going now. I can't get them.
So I pre-ordered Juggernaut because this looks incredible.
Pretty
Look at
cool.
this.
It looks like
He's
such a nice
huge.
Juggernaut. He's huge. He's
Look
just
at-
he's
that's
so
the-
big.
It
That's
can't
the
fit in the box.
Juggernaut. That's the Juggernaut we need in an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Just a
Look at
That's
that.
I mean,
a
at least that's
monster.
the one we got in the Deadpool movie. But good lord,
Yeah.
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
amazing.
That's right.
So
I haven't seen Deadpool.
Oh, we should. You haven't seen Deadpool, man. You
I've seen
gotta watch that.
Deadpool, man.
Caveat, I tried to watch Deadpool and I fell asleep.
What?
So I never revisited it.
Oh my god!
In
Deadpool
my
2,
defense-
I think I like Deadpool 2 the best.
And I'm kind of over it, Ryan Reynolds stuff. His
Well, it's okay.
his
You can be
comedies.
wrong
I'm a
with some
little
things.
it's a little over the top. I watched Deadpool vs. Wolverine only because of Wolverine, and it was all I could take to get over his silliness.
You didn't like that
It's
that
just over the-
style.
especially at the beginning. I'm like, it was just too much for me. I'm a
At the new-
serious. Yeah, I take my Marvel seriously.
No jokes.
I just wanted to show those real quick because I thought they were
Yeah,
cool.
They're
Recent
fun.
reveals.
Now that
you
that
got
Hulk
all
the Hulk, I would love a Avengers.
This one down here,
Theme.
yeah,
I don't know about that Hulk, that face and stuff, but I would
I
love
don't
to,
like
that's
that
their
head.
new
Yeah.
Maximum Series 1.
He looks cool. Yeah,
I just got this guy. This is the Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3.
That was fun. Yeah,
I got
he's
him
a-
too. He's
He's a
fun.
pretty popular one.
The
I
head.
don't think he's
head
worth, I don't
sculpt
think
is
he's worth
really good.
$29 though. But
No,
Ooh.
but they kind of everybody's been wanting that figure for what 20 years or something.
Mhm.
So
Do they have a
maybe not that
swappable
long.
head, a normal head?
That
Yeah.
version
Yeah,
of him
there's
was
this-
hard
yeah.
to watch.
For
Say what,
$29, he better
That
have
version of him was hard to watch.
Oh yeah, when he turns evil, yeah.
Yeah, it was just
yeah,
that
He
was
does the dance.
when he was walking down the street.
Yep.
but to be fair, it
All
kind
right.
of fits with him being a dork. So
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of fits that a little bit. But yeah, it's a rough movie. It's a rough movie.
Don't
Right.
don't say that stuff around the Out of the Basement boys. They're diehard, Spider-Man 3 people.
No Chewing is checking in with us. Stunty.
What's up,
You know
bud?
this? Do you know him? He is a toy photographer guy. They have a great channel called Toy Daddies and Toy Pick Community on YouTube
Boy,
and Instagram.
I like that.
So great channel to follow those guys. Well, that's it for the Pulse website. I think we should go over to Savage Crucible now and learn about those figures.
Were we holding off on the big one?
Oh, what was the big one?
The on Hasbro
Did I
Pulse.
miss-
You missed the big Black Series reveal one.
Oh yeah, let's
What was
talk
the
about the
big
big
box?
one.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, I
Yeah,
guess
what
they
was it?
haven't put it up for pre-order. That's might be why it's not
The
up there.
Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, the exclusive, right? Yeah, where
I
is
thought we were-
that? It's not.
I thought we were making jokes about that earlier.
We were.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
mainly what I was
sorry.
referring to in the
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah, it's not on the site.
It's not
Okay.
on the site yet.
I'll have to go to Yakface or someplace. But yeah, talk about it. What do you guys think about that? Are you going to get it?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
excited.
tempted, but I made a diorama of that like 4 or 5 years ago, and all I had was pictures to go by from the movie, and there was very little resources to find out what that platform looked like. And so, based on the movie, my version of it, it's more rectangular than it is square. I think theirs is more square, but the rest of it, man, I was pretty close, based on what I've seen since then and what they made. And they do look good. I'm tempted to get it, but I feel like they copied me.
I wonder if I feel the same way when they came out with that Imperial Throne. I wonder if they had like their artists or like sitting there like literally like looking at every single frame the same way that like we do when we're trying to like copy something. If they're just frame by framing every single shot out of that film to grab as many details as possible, or maybe they got some images from Lucasfilm at some point.
Yeah, I saw a rendition of it later. I think it was an animated.
Yeah, well, because I keep saying because.
Like the top of it, I couldn't see what that looked like.
The texture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never
Chevron.
see that. Yeah, not in the movie.
They had to have gotten something in there, or maybe they saw some concept art. That's probably maybe they got some episode 3 concept art.
My mouse is bouncing. I love the cooling lava blobs.
I did that too.
Did you? Yeah.
Did you do a little bit of like hot
that's pretty
glue
neat.
and like kind of like pour it on there? It does look cool.
Oops. Sorry, guys. Jumping around here. Yeah, this is a really cool looking set.
I don't know if it's $110 cool, but like it is really cool.
It's a lot more than I thought they would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. It's a lot more than I expected them to do.
That looks really nice, man.
Yeah,
I thought maybe just that with a little bit of a lava base, but
I made it all out of wood.
oh, there you go.
Wow.
Hang on, Gary. Let me make you bigger here.
Oh,
Show that off again.
But see, I made it. Part of it, part of this broke off. I got to glue it back on. But I made it more rectangular because there's the scene where they show Anakin standing on the platform and Obi-Wan's up here. This thing looks a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like in all this animated or computer graphic stuff. Everything changes a little bit. But I put a little lava there, a little over here. But I thought I did pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks
right.
awesome.
Based on pictures.
I like it. Yeah. I like it a lot. Good job, man. Did you is that big enough for like Hot Toys?
No, I did it for Black Series.
Mm.
But like I said, I think it's supposed to be more square, and I made mine a little more rectangular. But like I said, if you look at that view in the movie, it does look longer than it does wide. But
can we see the platform again, David?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to go back to it. For those that don't know, it shows 2 brand new tooled figures. So everything's brand new here.
That looks pretty rectangular to me.
Yeah, it does. It looks smaller than
Gary's looks a little
I
bit
thought it was.
bigger.
again, if you look at that view, and I was trying to look at how tall the figure was compared to how long the platform was, and so I got it as close as I thought as it was.
Yeah.
By the pictures, I could in my opinion, it could be a hair bigger, but I understand probably would be cost a little bit more, and but I have to rewatch the scene because it probably is pretty accurate to how big it is in the scene. I'm just remembering it being bigger.
Well,
it's a small platform.
Where's
they
the
are
picture of him?
right up on each other.
Yeah, balancing. Well, there's a shot of it.
Yeah, that's true. They are like because he goes and he almost fall. He has to balance himself because he's on the edge. That's true. Yeah.
I have a theory that Obi-Wan force pulls him back on the thing, so he doesn't let it fall. Because he can't let him die.
Yeah,
he can't let his
photographer did a great job on these.
Here's the shot. This one right here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I think that looks cool.
That almost looks like an outtake or like a scene from like a Robot Chicken episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really love the way that Matt did the lighting, because I think he had like a lighting panel,
Mhm.
and then he just took like sand, black sand, and just like sprinkled it
Yeah, you're right.
on
That's
top
what
of
it
the
is.
lighting panel.
Translucent. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
yeah,
it works
probably
really
just-
well.
I'd love to get Matt on sometime and chat with him.
Yeah.
That's the what's
do.
it's Shooting the Galaxy. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Matt Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And he added some
Yeah.
of that blue effect. That looks cool.
Yeah.
I will at least get this thing. If I don't end up getting, for some reason, this set, I'll at least get them single release, both of them single release, because
Mm-hmm.
for an episode 3 show, you need both the two main.
Yeah,
characters.
obviously they're going to re-release these individually in their own, separately later.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to come with all the hands and the extra heads and the
swooshy lightsaber blades.
swooshies. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
There's even-
unfortunate.
There's Brandon from Hasbro mentioned there's even little pegs. They come with the set comes with little black pegs to peg them that goes in the hole and then goes in their foot.
Okay, I
Hold
saw
in
the
place.
peg holes in the platform. Let me get out
Yeah.
of this.
He
'Cause here,
on
so you can
Mhm.
see
yeah,
the
he
peg
commented
holes.
he commented on one of the live stream, I think out of the basement's live stream, and the next day, and he mentioned that there's pegs that go in that, and then you could peg the figure down. In
Yeah.
They're
place.
pulling a Mezco, because Mezco does the same thing with their stands.
Well,
Yeah, if you
I
see,
think
I
I
don't know if
will
you have a
probably get
package.
this.
There's no package
Yeah.
shot, but in the package
Is there?
shot, you can't even see him. I don't
Yeah.
see
Don't
it.
have
There's
Yeah, I don't have it
it's
here
just
on
kinda-
Yak Faces.
See, the
Maybe
problem
I
is now I think it's $109 worth of cool, so I think I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other set that was $109 was that Endor set with the speeder bikes when we first got
Mhm.
Endor, Luke, and Leia, and
Mhm.
Haplu on the. That was that that unfolded and everything. That box that was a really cool set.
Heroes of
STCC. Yeah, the Heroes of Endor, and I remember at the time that was $110, and everybody was balking at the price, But
That
it's just
came
how
out-
these are.
Speeder in there.
I wish I had waited for the Han and Leia to buy them, because that came out
Yeah.
right after I bought them, and I'm like, oh, I would have loved to just. And I even saw that set locally, in person. I was selling it at a sale, and
I love these so much.
I was tempted. That is
I already forgot
our
about these,
generation. You anything glow in the dark. We're like, oh, they used to have all sorts of stuff glow in the dark like this when we were kids.
I love
you got
these.
the Mummy.
That's a fun
Look, it's
one.
got Indiana Jones's staff there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's what
Prince,
I thought it
Prince
was.
Caesar's. That's Prince Caesar's staff, I think.
Oh, is it? I thought it
Caesar's?
was. It looks
I
like the
think
staff
so.
of Raw from.
He's a.
It would make sense from a licensing standpoint that's coming from. Sure.
I have both, but they're upstairs.
I don't have Prince Caesar, so.
He's a cool
He's great.
figure.
He's a cool figure. He's fun.
I like that pose.
But yeah, this one.
Little.
Yeah, this mummy. I don't have any of
Back to
these,
those
but
guys.
they're still fun. They're still fun.
Yeah, I'm getting
Glow in the
all of
dark.
these.
Another boggling. This one's fun. You could
this is
you could-
just this is just
you
clever.
can play with it. You get it, and you can play with it while Wicked 2 comes out. Yeah.
I know they're totally riding the Wicked train here, because
Hey,
Mhm.
Oh, they were back to.
now my
Paris.
thought is: there any sort of a stand for that? How do you get her to?
I don't
in that-
know. Yeah, how do you do that?
How do you do that, John? We need a stand.
Hang on. Okay, hang on. Let me figure it out.
Hey, the figure does not fly.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad they
Send a
told us.
nasty- I'll get it and send a nastygram to Hasbro. I'll be like, in the pictures.
Yes, your figure in the pictures could fly, and I tried to make it fly and it broke. So I want a different figure. fix this now. No, I
All
love these
right.
Halloween things. That's my favorite. I'm not as big on the Christmas stuff, but I really love their Halloween stuff.
All right, guys, let's shift gears a little bit because that was fun. I want to hear from Gary about Savage Crucible, what you picked up, because you've been chatting about it, and I was just curious. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to go buy a dozen figures from a new line.
Well, you know, we
Within a
talked.
week.
Yeah, in 3 weeks I got But you know, I was talking about the Mythic Legions because I thought, you know, those look cool, and then that kind of, you know, throws back to, you know, my interests and you know, when I was younger. So I was thinking about Mythic Legions. You know, something kind of turned me off a little bit, and I went to our local con here in Birmingham. Well, look, those guys. I don't know why those guys didn't let me join the
I
forum.
don't know, man.
I went to our local Comic Con, and I was just walking around, and I saw this big table, and there was these bunch of cool figures, and turns out that it's based out of Birmingham. The creator lives here in Birmingham, and a lot of the other guys are, I think, all throughout the United States and even overseas. But so I was looking at the stuff, and I had to go. I said, well, which figure do I need to get? And they said one of these two, and they were special. They weren't in wave one. They were like, there was, I think, three special figures, con figures that they had. So I bought one of those, and I was like, man, this is a cool figure. And so I started looking into it, and the guys that the guy that came up with this, he used to be a Mythic Legions guy, and he did a lot of customizing, and I think he was gonna do something with them, is what I heard. But he just decided to do his own line, and it's they're very modular. So customizing, interchanging parts, very easy. Yeah, that's one of the base figures, and most of them are all that, just different paint applications, different armors. Like I said, everything is swappable. The shins and the forearms that have armor, you just pop those off and you pop the new ones on. And it's, like I said, it's very interchangeable. And it's not like a, you know, painting a stormtrooper and trying to make him look a little different. These guys actually, you know, they do look very different with, you know, different heads. And each figure, yeah, so that's one of my favorite ones. And,
So you have this one?
Cool.
I do. And
Cool.
see, so what I did is I bought this con exclusive at Iron City, and then I ran into one of my David Sasquatch Comic and Toys.
Oh, yeah.
Told me about. Seth is great, and you know, his store is amazing. If you're ever through Birmingham, you've got to stop there. But he told me he had most of Wave 1, so I've been going to his shop, and I was able to pick this guy up because you can't find him anywhere. He's not on the website anymore. But so, and he comes with an alternate head. So there's.
Do you have some of these in hand that you want to show us?
Oh man, I brought.
Oh, you got them right there. Hang on.
Yeah. See, so this is that one, but this is an alternate head. He's got the little flaps coming out.
Hang on, I'm gonna make you bigger here. Okay, there we go. So that's the figure we were just looking at with the armor and all that.
Yeah.
Just
Now,
different head.
Yeah. Now, well, I take that back. This head came in an armor pack. There's 2 accessory packs that they sell, and each one has a couple different heads, a lot of weapons, different armor that you can swap out. So, so I swapped out the head. You know, and the articulation on these things is phenomenal. Really, really good.
Very flexible.
And for $40, this is not bad.
That's what my next question was, the price point. Yeah. So are they all around 40, or what's the?
This is the one I bought. This was a con exclusive, and I got him. And there's a bug over here. But he was $40. But like I said, the ones that you can still get on the website or at the cons are decent priced. This one, the Sentry, I took his armor off and put it on one of these basic figures.
I love the paint job on that Sentry. He's
the shield looks cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shield was part of the accessory pack, but I took his armor off put it on this guy because I like him better. And then this one, this is armor that came in the accessory pack. So you just pop the shin off, pop the new an armored shin on there, and it's all very modular.
Huh.
And then I just got this one. Seth got this for me. It's a con exclusive at Joe Fest. I didn't get a chance to go, so he picked that up for me. But this one is hard to get because it's a con exclusive, so he's kind of expensive. But
I got that one too. He's cool.
That's the first wave, and so the second wave just came out, and they got a. You guys know who Frank Frazetta is, the artist?
Yeah.
Right. Well, they licensed. His name is Warrior with Ball and Chain because he's got a ball and chain. But this is one of the Frank Frazetta painting characters, and they're going to do the Death Dealer, which I probably his most famous painting. He's coming out soon, and then they've got a couple other humans. I'm not a big fan of the human figures. I'd rather have the lizards, and they're going to do some other ones. I got him because it's French.
I think the lizards and the coming fish guys and the non-humans are way more interesting looking than the humans. But the human, I mean, just from like a Conan fanboy, I think they're doing a good job with these barbarian types.
Yeah, and there's a.
I was going to say they fit right into Conan Barbarian stuff.
Well, see, I don't have any Mythic Legions, but I've heard that the articulation on the Savage Crucible is a lot better.
It is.
And these guys, it's a great group of guys. They're very generous. And they've made some changes. Like John, I think I put on the Savage Crucible chat about. See, the original figures had foot articulation, but and the bottom of the feet weren't completely flat. So I took mine and I sanded them down flat. But they offered fixed feet for $1 for 2 feet. So you could order feet. So I got a bunch of new feet, but I put one fixed and one articulated, and they're a lot easier to pose, a dynamic pose, and they stay standing up better. Because initially the articulated feet, I don't know if they were loose, but if there's an issue, they fix it and they make it right.
That's exactly what I've run into with them, and those feet they were very difficult to make these guys stand in anything that wasn't just like a straight up and down pose because of those arcing toes. And actually, for all of the Kickstarter backers and people who ordered early on off of his website, they actually sent out static feet.
Yeah,
you didn't have to remind them. You didn't have to say anything. They just showed up in the mail one day. And I don't know if I just lost it or if it just wasn't in the box, but I was missing a hand for Ninvillimir. And I just messaged the guy and I said, hey, I don't know what happened, but my hand, I can't find the hand for this. And I don't recall it being in the box. And so he shipped me, I mean, there's like a big box that came in the mail and I opened it. And then like inside this big box with all this wrapping was like 2 little hands.
That was disappointing.
He replaced them for free, so I was very happy about that. Sure. I was like, what the hell's in the box?
The box I got for my feet was little. So
yeah. And the box, the one I got for my feet was little too. Yeah. I think it was like an envelope or something. Yeah.
So and then the paint apps, I didn't know who Nikki Nicole was, but she's a famous action figure painter, customizer, and she has a biology background where she had something to do with snakes and lizards. So she's incorporated that. So she's done a lot of the paint apps on these figures. But they got a really cool crew of people that have had the input on the figures and everything, and I think they're going to be pretty big.
I think they're doing a great job, and like this. So the white pearly one, the shield of blah blah blah, whatever he is, which Actually,
Shield of
it's a she. It's a
Dizara.
she. Yeah. So, she doesn't even come with a shield, so I was very confused about that. But from what I can tell, the colorations they're doing, I think, are following morph colorations for like geckos, lizards, and snakes.
Yeah,
Like
I
you'd
saw
see in
one.
a show.
Yeah, I saw a podcast with her, and she said that she used. I can't remember which one it was, and it might be this Shield of Dizara that's an actual, maybe some type of albino python or something that she got that paint scheme from.
Yeah, they're beautiful. For me, back before the crap happened with the house, my Mythic Legions display I had set up with a group. Obviously not this guy because he didn't exist at the time, but my Nin Villamir, my Sentry, the little guys, had them all kind of like fighting like a horde of goblins, and they visually just fit right in. They look great. They are really cool figures.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it, and it's I still got all my Star Wars stuff out here. Still buying a few things. I opened like 24 figures, a couple weeks ago, and I still have 3 bins full. So it's not that that's gone. It just I finally opened myself up to something else, and I thought it was the fact that this guy's in Birmingham. I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Cool. I'm happy to see someone who's, not local to me, but like in the Southeast, making a go at this. And he seems like a decent guy. I can't remember his name right off, but there's a comic book series that tells the story of a lot of this too. So if you get a chance to read it,
well, that's the other part of this. I think there's some universe out there with all this, but each character has a little paragraph about that character inside the box, and they're using names and places, and it's it's like reading Lord of the Rings for the first time.
It is
Silmarillion.
Creating their lore.
Yeah,
which is cool. One thing I would like to see, and this is just because I love reptiles. I want bigger tails. Like these, I'm glad these are posable and all of that, but I want like at least another 3 or 4 inches on that tail, so you can really get some good poses on this.
At least some of them do articulate. The slates, it's just it's fixed. So
you got Como, right? The half-breed.
Yes. Yeah, his is a little short one.
Yeah, it's inappropriate looking if you look at it from the front.
Oh, I saw somebody. I saw a review, and he had it pushed forwards, and they were like, "Well, hey."
Yeah, because there's a big old hinge on it, so
But like I said, the cool thing about it is the shoulders, the shoulder armor. There's pegs in the back of the shoulders that it fits into, so you just pop those out, and they all have the hole, so you pop them in somebody else. The big shoulder armor, same thing. There's 2 pegs in the back, so you can pop it out and pop it in somebody else. So there's a lot of renditions of these characters that you can do.
It's right there.
Customizing these guys is easy, and I've done a few. I think I painted one of my Villamirs. I bought one and repainted, just dry brushed the armor, made it look a little different than the stock one, and put a different head on it, and it looks completely different. But it's, like I said, that's the cool part about it. Customizing. Now, I don't know how some of these newer guys are going to work. But
I'm looking forward to these newer waves, and the fish guys. I had some of them ordered for the Kickstarter. I'm very excited.
And so that's another thing. I was unaware that there was these smaller kickstarting companies, and that you can get involved, at the ground level, and which is kind of cool. But where do you run across these people?
I think maybe I'm just a little too obsessed with YouTube,
Yeah, YouTube will show
Is
you.
that where
Yeah.
it's at?
Kickstarter will send things to me, and because I think I have enough of a track record of like me backing toy Kickstarters, that I'll kind of like get alerts when stuff goes live.
You're on their list.
Gary,
I am. I'm on the
Hey,
algorithm.
this guy's a sucker.
There's- there's actually a physical magazine called Toy Collector Magazine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You might consider subscribing. They do every 2 months, I think. I had a subscription last year. I let it go, but that had a lot of articles about upcoming lines and
Mhm.
like just check it out, Toy Collector Magazine. And they interview a bunch of independent companies that are starting up. But there's a whole bunch of them out there that are making these
Mhm.
figures that aren't mainline, mainstream. There's
Do you want me
a lot of them.
Do you want me to introduce you to a couple that I'm waiting on?
Well, I don't know, man. Like I said, I've got 12 of these guys. I'm still doing my Godzilla. So,
See that Shimu becomes a mount for your Lemurian.
well, you know what? They kind of, at least, the albino one and him go together. But so, yeah, so I think I'm done with my NECA Monsterverse. I've got, I think, all the ones I want. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Are you familiar with Animal Warriors of the Kingdom? Have I told you about that?
No.
Oh boy. Okay. So Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is a comic series. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but he's from, is he from Georgia or Florida? But anyway, so he has it's almost like Planet of the Apes, because like the main characters are like like anthropomorphized apes, and there's a lot of anthropomorphized animals in the series. Now they're more cartoony than say these guys. These guys are much more detailed and realistic.
Right.
Whereas Aowak, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, are certainly. Let me bring up the website real quick.
Yeah, I was just going to bring it up too, but go ahead, John.
If you have it up, go ahead and bring it up.
Let me see if it works here. It's going to show up. Spiro Toys.
Yeah, Spiro. So their articulation, I would say, is on par with the Savage Crucibles, and they're a lot of fun to pose. I have the big gorilla guy. He's kind of chunky. He's a little bit hard to pose sometimes. But I also got their Kali. Yeah, their Kali general character. He's really neat. And then I have one of their just generic ape.
Here's some
soldiers.
Pictures.
Yeah. Now the cool thing is they had a second Kickstarter for their second big push, and they have reptile people coming through, as well as bird people, and they have a giant anthropomorphic elephant, and I think they're doing a rhino as well. So
see, a lot of those you could just do
gorillas are cool.
A little touch up, a little dry brushing, and probably make those look really cool.
100%. The gorilla is really cool. He's a lot of fun. He's very clicky.
Yeah.
And the bird
really
people are
what?
neat because they're gonna have feathers that you can insert into their arms so they can fly. And I think they have interchangeable feet, so the feet can like grip things.
These are
You had this-
1/12 scale.
Yes, yeah. They initially had a line that was basically these characters, but they were smaller, like 1/18th. But they switched over to 1/12 scale, and they're pretty flexible. They're pretty good.
It kind of gives me a Thundercats vibe when I look at the styling.
Yeah.
It's a little more cartoony. It's a little more human-y. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that. Yeah, for me, I was getting like more like Planet of the Apes, but like I absolutely can see Thundercats. Yeah. Like I
Well,
could see this
something-
being an animation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Something more for you to check out at your next show.
Yeah. And then the Mythic Legions, Gary, they do have reptile people, like
Mhm.
full on snake men who, dude, they look so
So they're
good.
I saw some of the skeleton warrior figures, and those look really good.
We're gonna talk about that.
Is that one?
That's one. We're gonna talk about them. I
Yeah.
want to talk to you about them.
Yeah, those look really good. But that Mythic Legion stuff, man, it's pretty high dollar, isn't it?
It's not. If you do the pre-orders, they actually aren't too bad. So
Here's their
they're
prices
about-
right now.
Yeah, they're about $37
Yeah,
per
that's not-
figure. The bigger ones like Ganesh,
Ooh, I need
she
that
or
horse.
he was more expensive.
This
But
one's
it's a
70,
really
yeah.
cool figure. Like it comes with a ton of stuff. And like, it's Ganesh. I mean, who doesn't want an action figure of the, Indian or Hindu god of
And
whatever their Hindu god of,
$70
I'm
with
sorry.
all those accessories, that's not bad.
And it's
Yeah.
got 4 arms, dude. It's really cool.
And when I see things like this is when I really get mad at Hasbro regarding Black
Yeah.
Sheep. The
Mhm.
And soft
license
goods.
must be ridiculous.
Mhm. Their
Wired
soft goods
soft
on
goods.
at this scale are really nice. They have
Yeah.
upped their game immensely in the past 5 years.
Yeah. I deflect most of, not anger, but frustration with that, Gary, more to Disney and the
Yeah.
license fee
Yeah.
for Star Wars is just way too high.
This
you
is
know.
entirely self-created. This is not a pre-existing thing. They came up with all this by themselves.
And I like that. I like the intellectual property belongs to these
What's
companies. They
What's
want
that slog? That green one, David.
Yeah,
He is
I saw
the
that.
prison
Can you
warden.
see that?
He's cool. He's
That's just
big.
so cool.
I actually saw him at
Is
Comic
he
Palooza.
glow in
He's
the
about
dark or
this-
something? Or
No, he's just painted bright green.
he's just painted? It's just
But-
painted.
He's got swappable head there underneath the helmet. I've seen this guy in person too. I almost bought him at one of the shows.
Now
Because he was just
is
cool.
this the space one? What's the space one? 'Cause
Cosmic
that's-
Legions.
Cosmic
Cosmic
Legions.
Legion. Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks fun. I would get into that if I saw them. It would be hard to pass up some of the Cosmic Legions if I saw.
We
them in
bought
person.
one of these. Which one did I buy? I think I bought this one. Yeah, I think
Oh,
I
that
have this
blue.
one.
He's a
That
good
blue
one.
is-
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
The
That's
painting
cool.
on these guys is insane.
Yeah, I bought one at
Does
the
it have
show.
does it have a
just-
cover? Is that what the different colors? It's
Mhm.
when it
Yeah, there's
without the
a
it's a brighter
shield.
blue without the shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
they have
pretty cool.
David, can you bring up the Oleg where he doesn't have a shirt on and show them the detail?
I was
the
looking for that. I
scales?
don't know if
Oh, yeah.
it's only what's in stock.
There
so
it
I
is,
think
right
he's-
below it. It's right
Oh, there
below
he
it.
is.
There
Yeah,
you go.
there he is. Okay.
Yeah, get that. The back scale. So this is the main body that they're ended up using for their reptile characters now. So like you'll see where the scaling comes in
Yeah.
and all of
That
that.
paint
It's
is
just
great.
it's gorgeous.
shading.
Go to the back view. That scaling for the back is just insane.
Yeah, here we
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Oh yeah. Wow. It'd be
It's
interesting
a
to see
beautiful
because you have stomach crunch and stuff. It would be interesting to see how that's
It's a
engineered.
ball where the hip, where the torso and the hips are. There's a ball there, and it's not bad. It's no Marvel Legends, it's
Okay.
not myth. It's not even Savage Crucible levels, but they are really focusing on the sculpting and the painting.
Mhm.
They have
Yeah, it's
made
amazing.
strides to increase their range of motion with some of these newer waves, which is really nice. But yeah, they're not super duper posable. The bug guys are really neat too. They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
They have
This
these like
is-
metallic paint.
That's like the in the cantina they have bug guys like that, don't they?
Hmm
Yeah.
Are any of these modular like Savage
They're
Crucible?
all modular.
So you
Yeah,
can
you
swap
can-
things around. Okay.
Yes, I would say these are more modular than Savage Crucible
Okay.
because
Cool.
you can pull these apart, and
Mhm.
like the body under this guy is the same body that Oleg Thygar has, but there's so much stuff that fits on top of him that it doesn't even look like the same body.
This
They're
is what I
very,
hope
very
if they ever do a Genosian. I hope
Yeah.
right.
they kind of, kind
100%.
of do some stuff like this with the wings.
Give the Star Wars license to For Our Horsemen. There we go.
Oh my god! I don't want them to take the time away from Mythic
Yeah.
Legions. I can't do that. But
I think they got their
so
plate.
like
I
this
think they got their
guy.
plate full.
So with this guy here, Gary, you can pull apart every single joint, and you can put it together however you want. There's a character that came out that's like basically a skeleton gorilla, and the whole point of the character is you put him to, is the so there's like a god of death, and his Necronominus is his name, and so he will raise the dead to be his soldiers, and so these creatures that he raises, his lieutenants will basically shape these characters out of these bones that are available, so like no two look alike. And so the whole point of that figure was that you could put it together in whatever arrangement you wanted, which is kind of metal. Like, that's pretty cool.
Well, obviously that's where
Right.
Crucible got that idea of making everything,
Yeah,
Yeah.
swap.
yeah, 100%. But they're going a different route though, because like with Savage, their armor is they can take the armor off, so you have a nude body underneath.
Mhm.
Whereas the torso here, I mean, that's just a solid torso.
Okay.
You can take, the loincloth off, but that pegs into the lower body. This is, separate. So there's stuff here that's like ideas that are shared, but there's just different ways that they're kind of like trying to go about it.
And how long has Mythic Legions been around?
10 years. I think they actually released a book celebrating 10 years.
Did they start as a Kickstarter as well? I
Yes.
don't remember. They did.
Yeah.
Their first couple of waves, I think, were a Kickstarter before they got themselves really going. And I didn't jump in initially. I jumped in when they had their Aether wave that came out. Because my first figure was actually a tribute to Panther.
And you got the dragon,
Masters
right?
of the Universe. Yes.
Wow.
John ordered the dragon.
Now, how much of the extra
All
stuff?
tiers. Everything.
Because, wow, I mean, that's going to be cool. I mean, that's going to be real cool.
I'm gonna get the
It's
force.
going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's real expensive and real big.
It's gonna be amazing.
It is.
Great. That was something I was talking to people about at Comicpalooza. So there's a lot of people selling Mythic Legions, and everyone I was talking to, I was like, "Did you get the dragon?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're so excited. I'm so excited for the dragon." Yeah, no, I'm excited. I am selling those figures as soon as I can, though, to recoup
The
some
extras.
costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need all of those. Of course, I say
But
that,
then
but I'm probably going to look at it and be like, I think I need this.
You need the knight that's on fire, the burning knight.
I think
I actually, I'm really
just a
excited
couple
for the
months.
Dragon Knight. Just, we'll see. So,
Well, do we want to talk some more pickups? Art, do you have anything
Sure.
you wanted to show
Yeah.
tonight?
Yeah, I got a couple things here on the desk. So this I showed you guys in our private chat, but I dropped his cookie. This was a Father's Day gift.
Nice.
You probably have a pallet of them at Costco. My kids and my wife got me this, and it comes with a little frog, which is fun. And it comes with a little and a minifig.
Cool.
Mhm.
So that's
like
fun.
it.
And then he comes out. Comes out of his pram, and he's got these little things on the back, and he can. So that's fun. And his head is on a ball. It's kind of a ball joint. If I could get the right angle.
Do
I don't
the
know if you
ears
can see
move?
that? The ears do. They don't go any higher than this, but they go down. Each one goes down, so he could look sad.
Oh,
And he's got another cookie. Here it is. He's got a little. He came with these little. He's holding one, so he's holding. So,
Yeah. Okay.
So that's fun. So that was my son and I put this together on Father's Day. So that was
that's
kind of a
cool.
fun little activity.
That's
we
cool.
Did.
The little
I always love.
mechanic arms.
Yeah, I didn't know that the arms moved. So that's fun. I'm a sucker for Lego. I always get maybe 1 or 2 sets every year. So, and then probably my recent Black Series is I've been playing with him is Saboba, this
Cool.
little frog.
He's such a good
which
figure.
he's great. My only nitpick is he'll stand for a couple minutes and then he'll fall over. So I always end up having to use one of his legs. I usually have him holding his frog, and then this leg as like a tripod. I usually have it kind of standing like that or something. So kind of a nitpick, but he's not bad. Great addition to my episode 1 kind of area.
Did you
And
find
like I
him
said,
at
the frog.
GameStop?
Yeah, just hanging on GameStop. Used
Yeah.
my $5 off, so he was $19. I was like, can't beat it. So he was one of those. I'm like, I'm not gonna order him and have him shipped up here, that kind of thing. So, and then I got
Oh, my
retro.
favorite.
my retro set, and so I'm not gonna pull them all out. You guys have all seen, but I'll pull out my 2 favorites that went on the wall. Nope, other side. So I had them on the wall and I put them in the box for transport down here because it's upstairs. But my 2 favorite ones that went on the Han is fun
Yep.
with the
That looks
helmet.
nice.
Yeah, and then this is my favorite. This is why I got the set. Is
The Sand Trooper.
The Sand Trooper. Yeah. So both of those little corners.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the corner's been damaged, but it's okay. I don't have enough room for all 6 of them on my wall right now, so I had to make a cut. My one kind of nitpick, I wouldn't be a Star Wars fan if I didn't nitpick. I wish I would have rather had either both Han, Ceremony Han and Luke, or Stormtrooper Han and Luke. I don't know why that bugs me, but it bugs me.
Pairing them
Now
together.
they're gonna make me have another set with Ceremony Han and Death Star
Yeah.
Imperial outfit Luke.
I wonder if Hasbro
so those are fun.
has a team that strategically figures out the best way to get people
Yeah.
to pay money for things.
And I've got to say, the Dr. Evazan and Walrus Man, I'm not going to pull them out, but the card backs are just so kind of boring to me. As a figure, they're cool and stuff, but my phone's going off. I'll pull them out real quick. And those that don't know, but just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. He doesn't excite me,
That's the original
the
Kenner
same-
image, though.
I know. I'm not a big Kenner head. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just. I don't know. The picture just isn't the best. To me, it just the troopers, the Sand Trooper, and Han and the Trooper disguise. I enjoy, and some of the other sets, the Return of the Jedi set, I was excited about, and stuff. But this is the first set that I haven't. Some of them I haven't been excited about. All the cards and stuff.
There he is out of the package.
Yeah, see, I could see myself one day opening them all and then having kind of you get some of the Tatooine rocks and kind of having a display of them, but I just don't have a spot. In my I showed off my book already, but I got the Thrawn set. I put them back in here. I did. I had them displayed on the wall. I put them in this box, because so I didn't drop them. But here, I'll spin it around.
Mhm.
This is pretty much the card backs. It's just that artwork is just great. My one thing, Pelion, he doesn't have a mustache in the comics.
Oh, really?
He doesn't have a he's clean shaven in the comics. Where here he has a mustache in here. Welcome, Lamb Echo One.
Oh, Lamb.
So it's a fun set. You know, I didn't get the 4-pack with the Black Series 4-pack because it had 2 repacks that are, you know, Luke and Mara Jade I already had, you know, and then I would have only gotten the whole 4-pack just for Jorah Sabayoth. So this helped get having him in TVC. So, you know, and he looks a little close up again. He's got
cool.
He only comes as 1 lightning hand though.
You
if
can't
I
do
open
the
them up,
thing.
you can't do. He's doing the thing in the picture, and you can't do it.
You can't do the thing. I want to do the thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's my move the stuff
Don't
over
worry.
here.
Hasbro will release him again with the other hand
on an alternate card.
on an alternate card.
Yeah.
Yeah, on an alternate card back. Yeah, so
Hasbro's just sitting there going, watch him squirm.
When you got the Sebulba, does he look like too big compared to? I had him standing next to Luke, and his head, everything about him looked really big, and I don't recall him being that big, but maybe he was in the movie.
He was about as tall
accurate
as Anakin in the film when he's on his hands.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
his eyes could be a touch more detail in the eyes. They're a little light, but
yeah, I do love that
I think
face,
so
though.
because he jumps on top of Jar Jar. You know, and I'll have to rewatch it, but
Yeah,
if you stretch him out, he's actually quite tall. Like if you put him on his hind legs or his
head, he's got a really big head.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a big head.
I tried to stand him up on his actual feet.
So I got one other thing. It isn't my pickup; it's my daughter's pickup, and I got to be careful because I don't want to break it. But she got.
That's cool.
She bought this.
Is that a hot toy?
Is that Hot Toys?
It's a hot toy. It's a hot toy.
Wow.
How old's your daughter?
She's almost 16.
Wow.
Good for her.
So she loves her thing. Everybody, you know, she loves Bad Batch.
That is awesome.
That's her thing. She has it on in the background like every night when I come down and she's doing homework or something during the school year. She'll have Bad Batch on in the background, you know, and she loves tech. So she got her first job this summer, and we said, your first paycheck, you blow your first paycheck as a celebration, you know. So she bought a hot toy.
That's cool. Well,
that was what she wanted. So I helped her get one, and we paid.
That's just good parenting.
So, but I was interested because I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'll get to see what the hell the hubbub is about. And the pros is very detailed. It's fun. Got multiple different hands. He had like 6 hands and all sorts of stuff. And the cons is it's a doll.
It's not an action
too much
figure.
of a doll. It's a doll.
But Art, we had GI Joes.
This is fabric.
Yeah, soft goods.
Soft goods.
It's too close
soft
to.
goods.
It's too close to being a doll for me.
Did you not have 12-inch GI Joes when you were a kid?
No, he wouldn't have had 12-inch Joes.
No,
that would have been before his time.
Before my time.
The
We
bigger
had
it gets, the more realistic you can make it.
I think I'm younger than Art, and I had those.
John, you're I think you're about a year younger than me. Yeah. So
yeah,
we didn't have the 12-inch. No, we just had the standard 3 3/4 inch Joes. We didn't have 2-inch Joes.
okay. And I guess
most
you never
stayed
dove
regular.
into the 12-inch Star Wars figures from like the mid 90s when they started doing those again.
Oh, those ones.
No.
Yeah.
Now the Star Wars, the ones that that David has behind him, those are a little less.
Yeah, those are
doll-like.
different though.
Those are the jumbos.
But also just the price point. That was my first reaction. I'm like, this is very doll-like. I thought that was funny. But the I would never want to get into. I would never get out of Black Series and get into that, just because Black Series is already. I like the world build, and you can't world. It's hard enough to world build Black Series. You can't do nothing with 12-inch figures. You can't do that. Oh, like.
Do you know Nathan Kozuk art?
Nathan
Kozuk. Is that how you say it, Gary? Kozuk?
Yeah, Kozuk.
Yes.
Yeah. So he does. I think it's Clinker Customs, Clinker Commissions.
Clinker Customs.
I met him. He was one of my members, and so he did Black Series projects for a long time, and then he got switched over to doing 3D prints for Hot Toy scale.
Ooh. And
I'm not talking about small stuff. This man would do a 1/6 scale Naboo Starfighter.
Yes.
And ship it.
It's crazy.
And I was like, wow.
I have seen the I think I know what you're talking about, or it's a different person doing 1/12 scale, like a Mos Eisley Cantina, thing. It's the size of a room, I think it's a different guy, but yeah, I have seen them do some sort of world building with the 12-inch figures, and I'm like, it's just
crazy.
Yeah,
but it's interesting because there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that getting into hot toys and stuff. I'll stick with.
Where did I put that?
I like Black.
I don't want to open that gate. I'm scared.
Well, hey, 1/12 was big enough.
Yeah.
If you really do things to scale, it's way too big now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I with my 3D prints with even 1/12 scale. I mean, that AT-AT. Good God, there's no way that thing would be done.
Oh yeah,
well, I say that, but another member, Elmer, he printed the AT out at 1/12 scale, and somebody, I think so. I never saw him finish it, but he had printed about half of it before he had kind of gone silent. Haven't heard from him in quite a long time.
There was a guy that printed your sand collar, wasn't he? Didn't it?
Yeah. Nalanja. Yeah, he was a seller, so I think he was doing it for a guy, and he actually Greg Inksel, he actually printed one of them as well, but I think he did it at 1/18 scale, and they look really cool. I was very impressed with that. So yeah, this stuff gets big, real fast.
Yeah, Greg did an X-wing.
Yeah,
and that's 42 inches long, roughly. Black Series,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did the whole hanger. That's right, Greg. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love his hanger. That's pretty cool.
I invited him on tonight.
You blinded me, David.
Look at
that
this.
thing is never going to leave his basement.
It's awesome. I'm going to turn it on. You ready? I'm going to turn it on.
Go ahead.
I just opened this today. I just did my unboxing video. I opened it yesterday.
Is that a mask or a helmet?
It is a desktop prop. It's about the size. Oh. It's a little smaller than a human head, but it talks.
Depends on the head.
I love it. It's great.
It's not coming out. I don't hear anything.
I love it
a little bit.
That's you can't hear. Oh, it's because I have my headphones on. I have to switch audio. But anyway, he has a bunch of phrases. He has a bunch of phrases from the movies.
If you want to hear the audio, you gotta. If you want to hear the audio, you got to watch this video.
Yeah, watch my review video on YouTube.
I watched it. I was
Subscribe.
doing laundry. I put you on while I was doing laundry.
I'm gonna switch back here. Hang on a sec.
He looked. I saw him. I saw him for sale at the parks a while back, and it was very tempting. And I agree with what you're saying with.
Sorry,
if
I'm having audio issues.
Yeah, if they had cut a little more and brought the price down, it would have been a little more enticing.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah, if they had cut if they
$20
had done less inside and didn't, how much?
You said
Yeah,
it was
if they had brought it down to
$20.
No, 120.
Oh, okay.
if they had brought
Expensive.
it down and a little closer to $100, it would be a little bit more enticing and stuff. But
This so it's a Disney Parks item that they made, and somebody commented on my video today that they only made 3,000 of these, and I didn't.
really,
Then I went back and looked at the press release, and it does say that. So maybe that's why it sold out really quick last fall, and then they got a reissue this spring, and it's already sold out again. But I
Put that
was
thing
able
in
to
a
log on and
safe.
grab it. Yeah, so it's really cool, and it opens up that you can see the inside of his head with all the wires and stuff.
Mhm.
And anyway, it's a cool piece. So that's one of
That
my
is cool.
new pickups. I ordered
Disney's
it on.
weird. They'll have like out of stock, but then if you go to the parks, there'll be like a dozen of something.
Gary,
It's
did
like,
you see
why is
that
it
for
out of
sale
stock
down there?
online? But it's like,
You know,
I'm just saying things in general. Just things in general.
I might have
Like
at
that
at Disney Springs at the outpost there. They had quite a bit. They had a lot of helmets, but they've got their own. There was some Black Series, and then they got their own line. I can't
Right.
remember the name of it, but I know that I saw the Kylo helmet. But they had a lot of helmets.
Yeah.
But several Black Series, and they had a lot of Black Series figures. I was surprised that they typically don't have that many.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple
Are
more
the-
pickups.
is
Let me
the-
show you guys real quick. I got to show you this guy.
Yeah.
This is the droid. So this is a
Excited for mine.
SM33. And
How's the extension feature on him?
so it's cool. This is him fully extended. He extends at the torso, he extends at the thigh, and he extends at the shin. So 3 points. So like this leg, if I collapse this leg down, it goes down there, and the peg leg goes in. The big leg. So
He's like a regular Mr. Fantastic.
and then the torso also pops down. So
Oh wow!
he actually changes height like a full inch and about inch and a quarter or so of height change. And then the arms do the same thing. You've got an extension here, an extension here at the bicep and the lower arm. So they both will collapse in too. So it's kind of fun.
Like that. Yeah.
And then I got to show you guys this part that he has the little rat inside his head. So this opens
have you
up.
lost the little rat yet?
So
he does have a good safe spot.
Oh, it is there.
It's going to go
Yeah,
to
I know.
Pocket Monster.
It's there. That's that little black peg is the rat, and you can remove it. I had to use tweezers to get it out and put it in.
Does it go in through the back, or does it just go in through the front?
Yeah, I had it in backwards at first. I had its butt like hanging out. I didn't realize it when I started taking pictures, but it actually you insert it from the inside. That's why the head comes open. So then you insert it so his little head's sticking out, and his wider end is still in the head. But it's so small, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
But it's got a wash on it. It's got some weathering. It's got decent paint. I mean, it's a deluxe price figure. I think, I don't know. It's it looks real nice. I like it. But also I got it for $25 instead of 35. So
I was so
made
happy
a little
that
more.
link came through.
Yeah. But I like it. It's a fun, and the character in the show was probably the most memorable character from the show, I think. So I'm glad they made a figure of it.
Can't recall no Atten.
Yeah, no Atten. And I got one other thing to show you guys. I think, John, you were asking me if I got this guy, which I did.
Yeah. I'm so excited to get him in.
Did you order this guy or?
He's sitting in my pile of loot right now.
Yeah. So this is
I can't resist a good Venom.
This is Marvel Legends, but he's like a 12-inch tall figure because he's the big, huge Venom from the video game.
He is huge.
So compared to a normal Marvel Legends, this is Tobey Maguire. You know,
I mean, that's just ridiculous. That has got to be the biggest Venom.
It's huge.
Possible.
Now, here's Marvel Legends Carnage from the movie, the one with Woody Harrelson, and he's almost as big. But he's I don't know. Together, these two actually look really good together. But they're huge. They're both huge figures. So, but one's video game, one's movie, but anyway, this figure moves so moved. It's articulated, with the joints are smooth. It holds its pose. It's got effects. I don't know. It's just really cool figure. So that was like the top of my list last month. Almost top of my list. So that was a cool pickup a little while ago. And then I got the retro Star Wars set that you were showing, Art, with the with the Stormtrooper and Stormtrooper Han. I bought 4 of them.
You got 4.
What are those big figures you get? The retro, but they're retro looking, but they're big.
Yeah, I call them jumbo figures. Yeah.
Is that the company that they sold and are they shutting that down?
Yeah, so they're made by Gentle Giant, which is owned by Diamond Toys, and there's
I didn't know they're owned by
whether.
Diamond.
Yeah, they got bought by Diamond a while ago. So yeah, I'm worried about I have 4 or 5 pre-orders with them that I don't know what's going to happen.
Who do you have pre-orders?
Gentle Giant. They got shut down. Went bankrupt. Diamond Comics and whatever the parent company. So yeah, I'm waiting to see what happens with those, because I don't want that line to end, but it looks like the line has ended unless someone picks it up again.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
But yeah. Oh, and then I also got Shakti, so I picked her up at GameStop. Black Series.
She looks good.
She's really cool. So I got. I didn't get Sebulba yet. I haven't found him yet.
He looks great.
But got Shakti, and I got. Luminar is the other one they released, right? That's the other one I got.
Galactic Outpost had all 3 of those, and I got Sebulba.
This is the only.
But I think they're going to have them, and we're going back in a couple months. So.
Yeah. But I love the retro set. I was very excited to get the Sand Trooper.
This is the only Sebulba I've seen locally.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
That Sand Trooper came out great.
Yeah.
All right.
I think what else, but
you want to do my pickups?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Okay. So I've got quite a few. So we had Comic Palooza last weekend, and I picked up quite a few things. I guess I'll go in order of what I think is most interesting, or least to most interesting.
Okay.
So I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but I am very interested in like certain Pokemon that I really love. And I played, so I don't ever see good Pokemon toys that have like good articulation or have like really good sculpting that's like somewhat affordable. And I found out that this company Blockies, I have seen them through their little articulating model kits of Transformers. And apparently they're doing Pokemon. And so, Charizard's my favorite one. I literally would just one shot. I had a Charizard when I originally played the game, and he was like whatever the highest level is, and I could just one shot everything in the game. And I wouldn't even try to use other Pokemon. I would only use him. And so Blockies, they don't sell these in the US. Like I don't know why. I don't know why they don't sell these. I think it's probably because Jazzwares is doing a similar line, but they don't look as good. So I went on AmiAmi and found this, and I think it was like $20, maybe like between 10 and $20. So, decently good price. The articulation is really good. The sculpting is like pretty smooth. I mean, it's down to like I can move the tongue. Like that's how much articulation he's got. He's
Yeah.
got like a ball jointed hands. He's got like rotates all here. He's got what Charizard should do. Like all of this comes out. The tail has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different pieces. These are all double ball jointed, and they all can move around.
Wow.
The legs, I would like to see a little bit more range, but like they're all just it. This is the perfect Charizard, and again, I'm not a Pokemon head. My students tell me about all of their favorite Pokemon, and I don't recognize any of them. I'm just like, I love Charizard. They look at me like, why do you like Charizard? I'm like, because he's the original dragon. And they're like, well, actually, he's not a dragon. I'm like, I don't care. This looks like a dragon to me. And I played it back in 1995 or whenever the game came out.
Yeah.
So, he's my boy. I like him so much, actually. When the Ami Ami package was getting stuck in customs, I found a guy on eBay and I ordered his Blockies Charizard. So I ended up getting 2. And the other one I just gave to my son. So he really loves it too. So because Charizard is his favorite Pokemon right now. So and he's actually been watching the anime. So he's like really getting into the Pokemon stuff. So I'm way happier with this thing than I thought I would be. It's just a fun dude. He's got some fire effects. He's got a couple of fireballs. So he's got like a base
cool.
Yeah,
that
that's
you
cool.
can set him on. I mean, for the price, this blows Jazzwares out of the water with what they were doing. So,
John, I thought Blockies were like model kits that you had to put together.
Yes. So that's
Is
the fun.
Did
This
you have to
came in-
assemble it?
This came in like 30 pieces. Like
Okay, that's what I thought. All right.
every single little segment for the tail was like separate. I had to like put in the little ball joints, like, but it's not like a Gundam kit where like I had to put like the belly panels and all that together. Like literally for the legs, I just popped the legs on and I was done. That was it. It's just like someone just didn't really assemble most of it.
That's probably how they get away with the licensing competition. It's not an action figure. It's a model, or it's a kid, or it's
100%.
something else.
100%.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of the Blockies Transformers for my son, and he really enjoys them. I think they're pretty neat. They're a little chibi proportioned. I mean, but this guy, he's exactly what I think of in Charizard. So if they do a Blastoise, that's my second favorite Pokemon, so I might be into that. But I think beyond that, I think probably maybe like the evolutions for Charmander might be the only other ones I would want to get. But he's cool. I mean, he's cool. He's a 1/12 scale Charizard.
Yeah.
So it's neat. Yeah. So like I said, it was a lot less expensive than I thought it was going to be. But I just had to wait because it's Ami Ami, so it took forever. Okay. Speaking of 4 Horsemen, this is the Cosmic Legions. I don't know her. I can see her name in my mind. I cannot pronounce it. It's like Jurga Maburga. She's Scorpion.
Turkey head, as we call her. It looks like a cooked turkey on the front.
It does. It does look a little bit like a cooked turkey. See if it. So like I don't know. I kind of held off on getting her for a long time. She came in the second wave, I think, of Cosmic Legions. She's translucent. Or like her body is translucent. But like the detailing on the scorpion head is really nice. The painting's really nice. I like a translucent figure. She's a female character. I don't have a tremendous amount of female characters, so like, I was like, all right, let's go and
Is
get
she a
one.
cat or is she a scorpion? Or is she a combination of the two?
She's an alien scorpion person. So she's like some sort of, but I don't know. She's like some sort of scorpion thing. Like she's got like some scorpion detailing. It was like pincers here.
Yeah.
The tail, like the back is like that looks like the back half of a scorpion to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty deal. And this is wired too, so you can like move it around.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I do wish that the wire went up a little bit further. Or this is maybe like a little bit longer so I could get like a little bit more utility out of it. But it's cool. Okay. Again, more impulse Comapalooza impulse purchases.
John, you got a question? What's the price on those?
These
that was
the
the
Scorpion
Charmander.
Girl was.
Oh, was that the
Charmander, I think-
Pokemon?
Okay.
Yeah,
You
I
had the
think he
Pokemon was
was.
like
I think
20.
he was
Yeah.
20, but like the one I got off of eBay, he shipped from Minnesota, I think, and that was like $40, I think. So it wasn't too bad for what it is.
That's not too bad.
It looks like the creature from the Alien got that from. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It
Yeah.
does. So this is Mythic Legions. It's a ghost essentially. He's a skeleton warrior type ghost.
Skeleton ghost.
He is completely glow in the dark.
Cool.
And I think for this comic convention, I ended up buying like a lot of translucent figures, and I didn't even really intend to, but I ended up getting this guy. So he was cool. He was like $37 or something like that. So I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
And
If I got the Mythic Legion stuff, I'd want to get some Warcraft characters from I didn't play World of Warcraft, but I played Warcraft. What is it? Warcraft 3 with the
have you
the
seen
the prince that turns into the that was 20 years ago, but yeah, that played that a lot.
The Lich King.
The Lich King, yeah, I played that a lot, and
there's
of
a
course you
Chinese
have the
company.
Green Goblin guys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want
There's
those
actually a Chinese
characters.
company making those.
Yeah.
They're not doing it through this company, but it's a Chinese company that's actually like putting those out like completely non-licensed. I got one of their orcs and he looks really cool.
It works, yeah.
But I like him, he's neat. Let me go into okay. So this guy right here is another con pickup. This is the zombie build a pack. So this is kind of an example of like better articulation working its way into Mythic Legions. So if you look at like the elbow, see how far that's reaching.
Yeah.
And so this is like through some of the newer sculpts that they're doing where they're getting these really nice deep elbow cuts. And so this is, kind of cool. And then like getting a little bit better knees with that single thing. So this character was about 60, but it came with like 3 or 4 heads, a completely separate set of arms and legs. So you could go from like zombie's flesh to completely translucent ghost. So if you want to take these parts and like you can make like several undead warriors or undead soldiers from this one pack, and it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it only comes with like one torso, so you have to buy multiples if you really want to get multiple characters. But you could take some knights and spread out some of the extra parts and make a bunch of different zombies from the character, which works with Necronominus because that's his whole thing. Is he like will go into an army and basically kill them all in one swipe, and then raise them all from the dead and turn them into zombies, which is it's pretty cool. So I thought he was going to be glow in the dark. He is not glow in the dark, unfortunately.
Mm.
But
Boo.
speaking of Necronominus, this is Thrasus, the first risen. He is one of Necronominus's lieutenants or generals, I think. And so he's been around for a while. He's kind of a big character, I think, in the story. But he's got some really neat parts. He's got like a newer skeleton torso that they put out with this wave, or with the Necronominus wave. And then he's got like bone legs. And then with like the soft goods, I mean, this guy's almost like as much soft goods as you can put on him, I think. He's got a soft goods cape with wires. He's got a full soft
I
goods
was going to ask
tunic.
if that was wired.
Yeah. And all of this is wired.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, this is a full tunic right here that you can take off, and he would be basically just a skeleton underneath that. And then the head, I think this is a unique head. And then he's got an opening mouth,
Huh.
which is kind of cool. Some of the stuff he comes with, he's got a really nice shield. I don't have the shield right now, but it's essentially like a big shield with Necronominus's face sculpted on it. And he's got a big banner with Necronominus's sigil on it as well. So he'd be like the guy that's like leading the soldiers, the undead soldiers, into the war.
That
So
armor
he's
looks really
pretty
cool.
Yeah,
The armor
he's
looks really
neat.
like realistic looking.
And I think this is like a newer armored arm where he gets a little bit more of like a bend in that.
Hmm.
Going with skeletons. Then these guys are actually from the wave that recently came out. I think like All Stars 6 or whatever it is. Okay, this guy's weird. I love him. He is a dwarf. He is a dwarf skeleton warrior. He's got so much attitude. I love these pauldrons. Look at those things. That is so Warhammer.
Yeah.
I love the face on him. He's so messed up. I mean, it's just a dwarf skeleton. Like, what else can you ask for? So he's got a big squared off dwarf shield. He's got a war hammer. He's got a sword. I love the dwarves in the line, anyways, just because they're so stout. They're fun. They're a lot of fun to kind of mess around with. And so he's just kind of another example of that. And you know, at this point, I don't know how many skeletons I have, but I guess I'll find out with the new house when I start setting it all up. It's you start building out these armies faster than you think.
Oh.
And then this guy, I don't have his shield, but I wish I did. So this is a knight, but he is a troll, an undead troll knight. Undead ogre knight, I'm sorry. His name is Baradoc.
Hang on, let me make you bigger here.
I mean, let me
I need
shed
more
some
light.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if
What's
this-
going on with his head? Are those big like teeth coming out of his jaw there? Or is
let
that
me
the
try
helmet?
this.
I can't tell.
There we go. That's better.
That's
Okay.
actually better.
So okay, he's a lot because this is actually the second knight in this scale they've done. The other guy was like a angelic paladin. This guy is the direct opposite of that. So he has Necronominus's face on his Necronominus's
See it,
face
okay,
on
yeah.
his chest. He's got the bat wings. He's got all this, and then the head is this helmet right here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
He
There you
kind
go.
of he kind of reminds me of like the undead mountain from like Game of Thrones. He's got some beady little red eyes in there,
Hmm.
which are kind of hard to see. But then there's this
Yeah.
huge neck piece that kind of mimics the good guy version of this is very architecturally sculpted. It's very cathedral like in the way that they did like these armor pieces. This is very Mordor-ish, very orc-like. And so all of
Yeah.
this is like teeth and bones.
Yeah, that's
He's
cool.
just got stuff all over him.
Wow.
And a lot of it's reuse. Like if you know the line, you can recognize pieces from here and there. Like the sword is from the Dragaseer figure they did, but they painted it black. So instead of it looking like a dragon sword, it looks kind of like a bat. Then I think this is like a reuse. So it's cool. Like this is what really excites me when I see stuff coming out of this line.
Hmm.
A little bit of soft goods, nothing crazy, but yeah, he's I'm again like I'm excited when that's once I get everything like unwrapped and like unboxed, to have him and then the other guy like face off because they're huge like compared to like normal characters. Like this is two
Oh,
guys
wow.
together,
Yeah.
so he's a big juggernaut.
The big boy.
And then I picked this up at the Comic-Con too. So I like him. He's a good guy. Although I think it's a she actually in the story, but I keep very masculinely sculpted she, I suppose. I like the soft goods actually. I think that's a nice touch. I want to see more of that from this line. I like the white more than I thought it would. I really wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but I do like it.
Hmm.
So I chose to go with the dragon-like head with this one versus the other one it comes with. I like that dinosaur look. And then I'll show you my Father's Day present.
Oh.
I think I know what this is.
Yeah, you do. You ready?
Ready? Go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I got one of these.
Who makes the saber? Which brand or company is that?
This is Neo Sabers.
Okay.
I'll turn it off because my son is asleep in the other room, and
You just woke him up.
Probably did. So give him a second; he'll run in here. Yeah, I told my wife, I was like, "Hey, I really kind of want one of these. I just have never pulled the trigger on it." So I was like, if I was to get a lightsaber, it'd probably either be Luke or Anakin or Vader.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks pretty damn good. And the kind of the cool thing is they actually sent for free just 2 other lightsabers.
Wow.
They're not as good as like this because this one has like the specialty blade that does the light, and it has like so many different like sound fonts and lighting effects and just all sorts of stuff. But it's enough for like my son and I to go whack the hell out of each other on the sidewalk at night. So him and I have been doing that, having a lot of fun, and I'm sure my neighbors think I'm insane, which is fine. I probably am, but this is actually I thought we were going to break it. I really did. It has not broken yet,
Wow.
despite all of the whacking that we have done over the past few days of playing with these. So it looks great. It feels great. I think I need to get Darth Vader's at some point.
That's the one. That's the one I decided to get at Disney when I was at
Oh,
Disneyland
yeah.
a couple years ago. I was
I'm
going
really
through and looking at them
curious.
like,
Is it the one that Disney makes, or is it like one of those like offshoot companies?
no, it was at the park. You know, it was at the Disneyland. It was at the downtown Disney. They have a. It used to be a Rancor Forest Cafe, and now it's a Disney Star Wars Outpost.
Okay.
And they have all the lightsabers there, and it's the Disney licensed one.
Does the blade have like the LEDs in it, or is it just shining from like the bottom?
No, it's in the blade.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've been looking at those. Those are really cool.
Yeah, they disconnect. It's been a while, but I want to say the blades are the different colors. I think because
So with this
mine's a red
one,
one.
I can change the color like at will. I can press and hold the button like a certain number of seconds.
Oh yeah.
And I can like switch colors, or I can turn it off, hold the button for like 5 seconds, and it'll have like a predetermined. It'll say like the Dark Lord or the Senate, or it'll say like the Redeemer, and each one of those is like a different color, a different sound file, different ignition type. I mean, there's one that's like literally just like a rainbow. It's just a constant stream of rainbow colors just coming out. And you know, if I was at Pride Festival, I'd be sitting there waving that thing.
Right.
It's
this
actually,
the Disney one is definitely a little bit I don't want to say cheaper, but I guess that's the best word. It's a little bit cheaper. And yeah, you got to change the color. I think you got to get a different blade.
okay. Because I've seen some like where you have to put in a
it's
new
just,
crystal.
It's just a button. It's just a button. And you put, now, see, this one, I don't remember the different types, but this one was specifically the different characters' lightsabers that you can get.
Yeah.
And I think the crystal ones is the ones where you go to the store, to the little make your own lightsaber, and you can put the crystal in it. This one, you don't put the crystal in it and all that. Those ones are the ones you make yourself and you can customize. And I'm like, I don't care about customizing. I just want, if I was going to get a lightsaber, I would want Darth Vader's or Luke's, you know, that kind of thing.
100%.
Well, like I said, it was a couple years ago that we were there and the sales lady was going over it all. But it sits next to my Darth Vader helmet.
I would have to probably pick one of those up too if I went out and grabbed one, or if I saw one of those, because they do look cool.
They were a good price. They were I want to say they were like a little over $100, maybe 50, maybe.
That is a good price,
something like that.
Yeah.
And you can get just the hilt. You can get just the hilt if you don't care about the blade. I want to say, and you can get, so you can really, you can customize however whatever you want. I don't see why you wouldn't want the blade, I guess.
Yeah, I told when we were looking at them, because my wife was the one that ordered it. I told her, I said, I think probably just get whatever the most advanced blade is, because I think that's the one. Because this one has like effects where like if you drag it on the ground, it flickers on the ground. It wherever you hit on the blade, it'll flash. And so if you have two blades that hit, it'll like lock and they'll flash with each other. And then you can, while it's ignited, you can press the button and it'll have like flash, 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 and it'll have like blaster bolts. So like you're deflecting blaster bolts.
That's cool.
And then this thing also has like a gyroscope in it. So when I swing it a certain way, it makes a hum that would make sense for like that direction. And then if I have it turned off, I did not know this until like I went through and actually read the manual, which I had to do. I thought I could wing it, but if you just like fling it out like I guess a Jedi would, it'll turn on. it just ignites. You don't press a button or anything. And so like I was just like setting it down on the floor, and I guess it detected like a bump or something, and it self-ignited. And so it just kept doing that. And I couldn't get the damn thing to turn off. And
this is why we can never have real lightsabers, because
That's right.
we're gonna kill ourselves.
When my son and I were out there.
Anybody get these?
Wheat thins? No.
When
Darth Vader,
my
wheat
son and I
thins, come on.
were playing.
I'm going wheat thin hunting tomorrow.
We actually got my neighbor. He's a younger guy, and I think he's like a Mandalorian fan. And like when they drove into their driveway, they like just rolled down their window, and I just heard, "Oh my god, that's the coolest thing ever!"
That's cool.
I'm just like, thank you. But it was funny. And then my son was like, "I wish these things were real," and I'm like, "No, you don't. We've whacked each other in the head so many times that we would have killed each other like within 5 minutes. You do not wish these things were real." But they were cool. They were I think, and I'm seeing a lot of these at cons. Like I said, I got the Neo Saber one. I don't think they're different. Like Crimson Dawn sabers, I looked at theirs. Apparently, they're out in Montgomery, which is like right next to Conroe, where I live. So I may have to go over there and pick up one of theirs. But they're all from China. They're all the same sabers, because I was looking at their Luke, and it looks just like this. It feels exactly like this. And like I'm asking them questions, and they're like, "Oh yeah, these are made in America." And I'm like, "No, they're not. Where are they actually made?" So, well, we get them from China, and then we warranty them to be worked on here. I'm like, okay, so they're all the same. They're all the same saber, probably a little bit different on some of the software put in there, but they're all pretty much the same thing. And I mean, this is metal. None of this is plastic except for the blade. But even this, I mean, this is, I don't know what, acrylic or something, but like this is all straight metal. It's got good weight to it. Like if I take the blade off, like this thing, it has that presence. You pick up your lightsaber at home and you're like, this is cool. Like Art, I'm sure you did the same exact thing. You just picked up the saber, Vader saber, and you're like, I guess I'm gonna go kill some younglings now.
Oh.
I yelled at my son when we were outside. I was trying to get him to come back in so we could go to bed. And he's like, "I don't want to go to bed." And I yelled at him. I said, "All right, fine. I'm going to have to order 66 you now or something." And he just goes, "No!" And he just runs at me with his saber. And so we just fought for a few more minutes. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I got to brag on John just a little bit here. So this was
what do you got?
What do you got there?
Well, this is my Darth Vader version of the.
Oh boy!
And what's cool about this?
I like that a lot.
All right. Well, the opens up. He's in there, and the cockpit looks.
Oh, you got Vader fitting in there.
Oh,
okay,
yeah. But
that's awesome. I didn't think he'd fit.
Let me find the. So.
That looks nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh my goodness!
Little, and then.
Oh, that's so cool, dude.
Nice job, Gary.
But yeah, this one's going to work, and it's going to go into my new office.
Do you still have my files, right? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I never did download those new ones.
Okay.
But I know you upgraded them and to make it a little easier.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if you still have my stand, grab the TIE Fighter stand, and I think I have the one with the logo, and you can print that out, and that actually sits really well on that TIE Fighter stand. it's not perfect, but it'll sit on. Then you can like flap open the wings and make it look nice.
Yeah. So
Gary-
Vader had one for a while, so they say. Now it was painted maybe a little bit differently, but I just took some creative liberties. But it's like giving John
Looks awesome.
some
I
props.
like it.
That's pretty cool.
How did you solve the canopy problem? A couple months ago you were wrestling with that.
Well, there's a cool guy in the 3D printing world that he printed 3 of these for me, and so I've got this one, and I think I've still got 2 more, and you have to sand it, and you can polish this stuff, but that's a real booger, trying to get it polished in the grooves and everything, or so I sanded it maybe down with some 1000 grit, and then I sprayed some clear on it, and it's a little distorted, but I don't know. I don't know that they're supposed to be crystal clear anyway.
So, and then the framing, you just painted the frame.
Yes,
then.
yes.
It's one piece. It's not because you were trying to put like individual pieces inside a frame at one
and,
point.
And
yeah.
To be honest, I think I like the frame and the window separate. But the problem is trying to glue it all together later.
Yeah.
So So I just I just painted the outside and the underside too. So it
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm really happy with how that turned out. I was actually, because you made this and Nathan printed out one of these too, I went in and made mine, and I was really excited for it.
And let me see if I can get the cockpit up.
Yeah.
The first one I did, my Anakin one, it's sloppy in there.
Oh, you got lights and actual controls too.
Yeah. So this one,
Those look nice.
there's a low light behind it.
That's cool.
Nice.
But it's a lot cleaner. I put all everything's back there.
Oh yeah, magnets, nice.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyway, John, just give you some props there, buddy.
Well, thank you. That looks
Nicely
great, man.
done.
You put way more work into it than I did mine. That's for sure. That looks cool. I got that one, and because again, you made that. I was like, every once in a while, I got to be like, I got to print something that I actually designed, because I can't let you guys have all the fun. And I took, again, we're moving. So I took all my TIE fighters and that ship up to my office and set them all up on top of my shelf on my desk. So my students are going to be real surprised when they come by and they see like 4 different TIE fighters and then Anakin's Anakin ship there. It looks pretty cool. And my department chair is actually, she really likes Star Wars. So I think I sent her a picture too, and I'm like, I just said like my office is cooler than your office. So I'm excited for it. I gotta finish up the other stuff that I'm doing. But yeah. Hey, do you want me to show those 2 projects?
Real quickly, because I am fading, to be quite honest. I got to get to bed.
Okay.
So yeah, run through them real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'll
late
do
there.
Slave 1 first. Can it just present, right?
Yep.
Share screen.
Oops, wrong button there. Here we go.
Let's see. Window. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So I'll show off this guy. So for anyone who's not familiar, I do have a Patreon where I do lots of 3D printing stuff.
Hang on, there we go. All right.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
I was gonna say mine's just black, but it could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there
activated
it is. Okay. There you go.
Sorry, I got to turn on layers and stuff.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. You're working
a lot
on
of pieces.
You're working on Slave 1.
So this was chosen by the Patreon members. Every once, like, I'll do like a. It ends up just being like, I asked them, said, "Do you guys want me to do like small projects or big projects?" And they always seem to choose the stuff that takes forever to make. So, if anyone complains about me not putting stuff out quickly, I don't know what to tell you, because I love democracy. So this is the Slave one. This is right now it's intended to be 1/12 scale, which would put it at about 5.5 feet tall
Wow.
if you set it up like this.
So big.
So it will have now. I actually kind of want to print this. I'm not going to do it at 1/12 scale. I'm going to do it at 1/18 scale. So that'll put it at about 3.5 feet. But Slave One is one of my favorite ships of all time. It's one of the weirdest ships of all time.
So unique.
But
unique.
It's such a cool design, though.
It is. Yeah. It is such a cool design.
It's tricky
really enjoy it.
It's probably tricky to display standing up in its flying formation, though.
I mean, I don't. I've gotten a lot of interest in this, and I think there's people who are going to try to do it, who are going to try to print it out and display it standing up. So I guess I'm going to have to do a stand. So
Hasbro has a stand for that. Just
they have a good. They have a good idea. But the thing is, it's going to put a lot of pressure on this. And these are moving pieces. Like, this door opens, this ramp comes out. So I don't know if that's the best idea for me. I think I'm missing a piece.
So, John, have you seen the Staples and Vine
There we go.
guy on YouTube? Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, like, that's kind of where initially I didn't want to do this, because I'm like, well, this other guy did it. Like, go grab his file. It looks really nice. But like I said, like, Gary, you were part of the thing when I did the vote, and they voted for this, right? I mean, it was this and the Outrider. So, and this is something that had been voted on like a few times and never quite made it. But it was still popular. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's go ahead and do this. And I'm doing the Outrider once I finish this one. So that'll be interesting. So I really love doing the Corellian ships, just because they're so much fun. There's a lot of play value in there. This guy, I think, Gary, I think you sent me a bunch of photos, right? You didn't? You sent me some.
I got those from I think Hollywood Studios at the Star Wars.
So I've been using those. So I've been getting a lot of these little panel lines and panel details. I've been using the Hasbro ship. I've been using Attack of the Clones, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian. So I've been trying to look at everything I can find. Empire Strikes Back, obviously. Everything I can find that has detail. Now it's not 100% accurate. It's probably not even 80% accurate.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get what I can. I'm trying to get the big notes and try to make it look interesting.
When you were mentioning it before, I kind of went back and watched the scene, especially with Din Djarin in Book of Boba Fett, when Din Djarin and a bunch of characters are inside underneath where the cockpit is, and it's when he's flying it, because they're below. And I feel like they made it bigger than it actually could be.
It's
down there, to be honest, just for the scene, because they wanted them conversing and stuff.
100%. Let me turn off. Let me go over some of the features that I'm kind of like proud of. So let me solo this real quick.
I would love just to have the loading ramp and having them. Yeah, that would be a cool little diorama, just having that back end and loading Han and Carbonite into it and stuff like that.
Well, something I did not even realize is that the way that the loading ramp works in the film, because like in the movie, in Empire, we only ever see the loading ramp from the side. We never really see it. But in Mandalorian, we get a really good view of how that loading ramp works. In Attack of the Clones, we kind of get a good idea of how it works. And so the toys got it wrong for the past 40 years. So there's this hatch that comes up this way, right?
Okay.
And then this piece, the center, or this ramp right here, it doesn't slide
That like
out.
ramps.
Let me get my pivot right. Okay. So this pivots down. And
Oh.
and so it also is kind of weird though, because like there's a lot of internal space on this thing. So I actually had to I built like a little track right here for this to hinge down on. Okay. And then there's some detail, like these pieces right here came from Mandalorian, where these little handle pieces that you see. So I put those in there and take away these panels. And then I came basically up to this problem of, okay, if I put this thing all the way down, the angle's not going to be right. Like that's going to be too low. But, in order to get that silhouette of like the guys putting the carbonite into the ship, you still need to have a little bit of an incline on this. But then the floor of the ship, which I'm just making the other side of this piece right here, that means I got to have some way to get it down. And so I ended up just making some like little stairs. They're removable, so if someone doesn't like that, they could just slide those out.
They can always edit it.
Head canon. I'm like, all right, I need something to kind of step down in here and provide a feasible reason or something.
Well, the problem with these ships is there isn't a functional version of any of these.
No, 100%.
They take bits and pieces and they make it work, but when you put it all together, it doesn't necessarily work. So you're trying to figure out something that they haven't even figured out yet.
Right. So like I said, I'm looking at like what the guy that you mentioned that had done his model. I'm looking at some of like his ideas. I'm looking at what like these films and TV shows did. This doesn't feel to me to be a comfortable ship to fly around in for long term, because there's going to be places where gravity has to change direction if you want to actually like move around and sleep or use any of this extra space. So so in here, like I have this, and I asked the patron members, I said, do you guys want a rotating cockpit? Because in my head, I'm like, well, in the films, you don't see evidence that the cockpit rotates. It doesn't rotate in Attack of the Clones, as far as I know. You don't see it rotate in Empire. Like we see child Boba Fett, get into the cockpit, and he's like sitting with his back facing the ground. So, and he's like having to stand up and like try to figure out where to shoot Obi-Wan. So in my head, I'm like, okay, so the cockpit's always facing upwards towards the canopy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point with Attack of the Clones.
But then I think in Clone Wars, when they had when they had Boba Fett, his arc, I think they do have it rotating. And then in Book of Boba Fett, it rotates. And then in Mandalorian season 2, that's where we see the interior, which is where
Mando's actually sitting when he's talking with the other characters. He's on the bottom level.
Yeah, when I first watched it, when I first watched it, I thought him and Miggs were sitting in jump seats that were right here and here.
Yeah,
and then this was just open, and so that's where you see he just hadn't closed the hatch yet. That's what I thought. But then I started watching it some more, and I realized there's a whole second level that rotates with this thing. And so that's primarily, I guess, the living space. And then there's like a ladder that goes from this first level up to the second level. So then I have this piece here that I guess you could print it out separately and just have just the cockpit, just the second floor or the bottom floor, and then have like whatever's in this area, and then this whole piece just rotates. That could be something that just gets pulled out entirely. But as I've been spending time like trying to recreate that that cockpit. I need to do the chairs. Something I think I got accurate, or I'm not sure, but it looks to me like the way that Boba Fett is piloting the ship is from just a central yoke from a flight stick.
Mhm.
He doesn't have the almost like Boeing type of like wheel that we see on the Millennium Falcon. It looks
Yeah.
like it's something more similar to like an airplane, which is or like a fighter jet, which is kind of cool.
Just that center section with the two levels would be a cool little diorama too of like Boba
Mhm.
Fett. If you want to do a book of Boba Fett of him in the up top, and then Miggs and Din and
Mhm.
whoever other characters are in there that'd be pretty fun to do. If you're not looking
Yeah.
to do the whole ship, you're just looking to do
Yeah.
piecemeal of different scenes or something.
And it can this will be able to stand by itself if you don't even want to like do the hinge piece, because like
Yeah.
this back wall will slide into a groove on this floor, and then this piece right here is going to slide in right up here as well. So yeah, it should be able to do that. And then I'll figure out like I think there's like four or five chairs that fit in this section, which I think that's going to get real tight because there's also like a console.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The amount of people that are sitting down there in Book of Boba Fett or
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian, but might be able to. But it just seems like in the show there was more room than there actually is.
Yeah,
But-
and I think like I think I got the size of the ship and the scale somewhat accurate, at least from what is being listed. Because I took the
Mhm.
listings from like Wikipedia, and that's what I measured this off of initially, and then I used pictures to scale and proportion everything too. So, I don't think I'm. Again, it's a this is Hollywood, so this thing is
Yeah.
Sizes stuff changes size all the time.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's functional enough to like get what you want out of it. So, you'll be able to take the cockpit off, the canopy off. You'll be able to take these little panels off. I got to figure out something to put in here. Maybe that's where the bunks are going to be. I don't know. I mean, I might like
Yeah.
wall off
That's
some
the
of
only-
this. Yeah, I got to figure it out. But the wings will rotate as well, so I'm kind of happy with that. The guns rotate.
Mhm.
So I think it'll be neat. I think it'll be a cool piece. I kind of really like being able to pull this off to have more access to the interior. So I may
Mhm.
end up having that section pull out for them. So yeah, so that is that.
Yeah, that'll-
And then you guys want to see the sail barge?
Oh, yeah, we can do it real quick.
I'm about to call it a night, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting pretty
Give us the
late.
30-second version, John. Sorry.
I don't think
We
I
can
can
go
open the
another
file
hour
in
on the
30
sail barge, but
seconds.
yeah. real
No,
quick.
there's no 30-second version.
Let's see.
Give us a little
Here, let me-
teaser.
Let me stop sharing
Yeah.
for a second, and then let me grab my. I'll go through some images. I can do that. 'Cause that's actually finished, and that's like up on the Patreon archive right now.
Well, that's it. While you're pulling that up, I was, seeing some of your designs. I saw. I feel like, and even the TVC one where Jabba is, that whole section. I feel like in the movie it seems so much bigger than what
Mhm.
it actually probably is. In the movie it seems like there's tons of room, but then the HasLab one there isn't. Seems like it's pretty tight space, but
Okay. Let me grab a photo. Let's open it real quick. Yeah, it's I think mine proportionally is a little bit better than the HasLab one, but I think
Mhm.
it ended up coming out closer to like what that size was to the HasLab. I think it's maybe just a little bit, a little bit bigger. Let's see. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Sorry, I'm trying to. I know you guys are getting tired.
Midnight here for me. I got to crash.
Oh man.
Okay, John, are you Central or Mountain?
Central.
Okay.
There it is. All right. Can you guys see this picture?
Here we go.
Okay.
Yep.
They're
So
coming.
yeah. So this is the aft section. So with the sail barge that I made, it's separated into 3 main sections. So the people can like print it out and have like a 2-foot section at a time if they wanted to, so they could focus on it. But then it also has the ability to connect with these large tabs into this thing. Nathan actually gave me a scan of the Black Series Java, and so that's what I made this bed based off of. So I think he should be able to plug in really nicely. So I'm hoping for that. And then these little like stands here that you can plug into the bottom. I went overboard with the number of peg holes on the bottom of the ship, just because I wanted to make sure this thing was like properly supported. I went through as many details as I could find for the interior, just trying to get all the stuff in here. So I think it should be pretty well detailed. I got a little jail here. I thought that might be kind of fun. And then here you can put the panels on the side. The hatches all hinge open, so you got like a ladder that goes up and stairs. And then there's like a 2-step stair system in there. I ended up doing like a vending machine, but you can actually like open this and it's like a little storage bay. And then the front piece has a weapons rack and then a workshop table. And again, you can put the stand underneath, the little stand pegs underneath and separate it out. And then this is just a ton of like detailing for the cockpit.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
So in my theory, this thing probably has like some like two operators here, but then like the pilot is like, you know, playing with the wheel, because again, this thing's like a big ship type of thing. And then we did the sail as well. If it was me, I probably personally wouldn't recommend printing the sail. I would use the fabric, but I did make a model for the sail, and that's available if someone wants to actually do it. You know, have fun with that.
Do the panels open where on the side where the guy comes out and attacks Luke?
These panels do not. The windows all do hinge open.
Okay.
That, you know, honestly, that is probably something I should have put in, but I think I got too far into it before I realized it. I did do a det gun with a working piston. This thing rotates and elevates. And then I did do a blast effect that you can plug in, which I thought may be kind of fun. I actually did print this out. Actually, it looks pretty fun. Or it actually looks
that would
nice.
be.
Then it fits. And you can see the 3 different sections. And the sails just plug in into the top. I made
How long is the whole thing?
7 feet. I think it holds the record as the longest thing I've ever made. It outs the AT-AT by a few inches. So this guy right here is a multi-hinged deck cannon. So I think this can rotate. It clips on to the rail, so it should be able to clip on anywhere. And then this elevates up and down and also rotates side to side. You can see how
Cool.
that kind of breaks down there.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So that's the sail barge. I think someone is actually printing this out right now. I think they're doing it at like 18th scale or something. But I think I might have to do this. I might have to print this out at 18 scale too.
So where do you tell people to go find your files, or is it Patreon still mostly?
I have Patreon, Layer Creations Patreon. If you go to my website, layercreations.com, I have links to my Patreon. This and just to make sure everyone understands, I think sometimes people join and they don't understand, despite the fact that I feel like I market pretty clearly. Is that I have an archive, and so if you're a member for 3 months or more, then you get access to the archive, and that's just to help build like more of a community and get them kind of more invested, rather than like pump and dump essentially.
Yeah.
And if they just want to pay for just this or any of my projects, just one-offs, I have this listed over on my Cults 3D webpage, as well as CG Trader, and so those links are also on layercreations.com as well. So
Cool.
got all of that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, John. Very cool.
Thank you for letting me.
Yeah. Very neat.
Well, guys, I'm gonna call it there because
Yeah.
I need to go to bed, to
Been
be
fun.
honest. So, but it's good
Yeah.
catching up with you guys.
All right, guys. It's good to see you
All right.
all.
See you
Have a good
soon.
weekend. See ya.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for everybody who was listening in the chat and everything. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Good
See ya.
night.
Bye.
See you guys.